Hey kids, happy end of 2024, almost happy 2025 for most of us, happy 2025 for those of you in the future. Welcome to Displaying Artist Function, or whatever you might want to call this edition of the show. There's certainly going to be times in the future when I'm live streaming that isn't a Displaying Artist Function episode. So I have an idea of what I want to call that. I'm not sure I want to commit to that right this second, but welcome to the show. Thank you for your patience. I hope you had a great holiday. If you celebrate, or even if you don't celebrate, I hope that it passed with as much joy and happiness and peace as possible. So let's check in with everybody and say hello. I would have had the intro ready to go in here, but the video didn't process fast enough, and that's why I was late, and you guys, it's fine. So I see a bunch of people in here. I see Bjorn and Epic Badger and Boba Hicks. Jason Garcia, who is not late. No, sir. You are not late at all. You arrived exactly when you meant to. And I see Manic Plastic Toy Shop in the house. Hello to you as well. And Badger is not wrong. Says my room's turning into a KB Toys. Well, these displays right here are for your benefit. These are not staying here. I can't leave the room while these are here. So that's a thing. That's a thing. Bjorn says, no kidding. Gojatron in the house says, that's a whole lot of new toys behind you. That's right. Christmas was good to your boy. And not just Christmas. So a lot of things happen to coincide with the last 30 days. So I'm just calling this all a holiday haul. The Dragonfly was originally meant to be part of my birthday present from last year, but doesn't come until this year. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an early Christmas present. We're going to go over all of that here in a second. I just want to settle in and catch up with you guys. I know a lot of folks are getting their ghosts. Jason Garcia said his brother got his ghost. It's a big old box. Bjorn got his. I seen a box. It's pretty damn big. Pardon me. And yes, thank you, sir. That was a very last-minute gift from Santa. Santa said the price could not be beat, so Santa got that for me. So, where have I been? What have I been doing? What's going on with the show? Well, I'm going to go over all that. So let's start with that. Basically, the last episode of Displaying Artist Function is still technically in the edit. Frankly, I might scrap that and redo that entire conversation. I haven't decided yet, just because since it's been so long since we had the discussion, there's other things. I would approach that in a very different way, which you'll understand when you see the episode. I have been resting, rejuvenating, thinking about the next phase of things here, not wanting to repeat past mistakes, capitalize on past successes, and make sure that we're doing things in such a way that is sustainable and fun for everybody involved. Displaying Artist Function as a concept and as a series isn't changing. It certainly isn't changing its format at this point. No one is off the show or anything like that. That show is always going to be a staple, I think, of this channel, because I love the idea of everyone having a place where they can discuss the more esoteric aspects of being a collector and share solutions to problems that we all have and so forth, as well as talk about mental health and how it all kind of coincides, right? So that's not going anywhere. That's staying for sure. And while I do love that series, and it is a pre-recorded series, it will have its own release date. I do miss streaming with regularity, so I'm not sure the schedule of how that's going to work. It may still be Monday at 5 p.m. Central, aka 6 p.m. Eastern. That should remain the same for now. Whether or not it's going to be weekly, I don't know. But I worry that I run the risk of stagnation by just doing a weekly show. I would love your feedback while I am here. Certainly, if you're watching in the future and this is recorded, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking, because I do intend for Displaying Our Dysfunction to be at least a bi-weekly feature that is, a pre-recorded premiere kind of a thing. As we move closer to this toy room being what it's supposed to be, there'll be more regular old videos coming out. I remarked multiple times in the last couple of weeks how far the room has come and how much further it's going to be able to go in a very short space of time. I got plexiglass, finally, for the room. I've got 5 panels of it. I was only going to get 4, but the price was better than it was when I first quoted it, so I got 5. And that's thanks to you guys. That was a YouTube revenue purchase, okay? For those of you watching on other platforms, your revenue always does tick into all those things. We're on Kick for the first time ever today. And we're also over on Twitch, we're on Facebook, but of course our mainstay is YouTube. I've also implemented a new feature. If you go to grindheadjim.com/stream, it'll always take you to the most recent live stream that we had. You don't have to try and find it on the page or in your feed. If you're wanting to go to the next show, like you see it on social media and you just want to get directly there, just type that into a browser. grindheadjim.com/stream, it'll take you right there. If you're trying to rewatch the last live stream, boom, it'll take you there. And I only update it when I have a new stream a-coming. Speaking of which, my website has been rebuilt. It's still a work in progress, but it has function and some form. So I'm going to just briefly show that to you, just so you kind of get an idea of what you got. So when you first log in here, I got to change this logo here at the top. This isn't quite working for me, but I wanted to have something that was us. And the first thing it displays is the last video. In this case, it's the live stream. And as you go down, it shows every uploaded video, live or otherwise, and it lets you endlessly load everything. YouTube's a pain in the dick for navigation, okay? So what this lets you do is you can look for anything you want, and just find the videos that you're looking for. The search works well so far. I have to triple check a few things, but eventually you'll be able to search for anything that you're wanting to watch. So just want to go ahead and just let you know what's going on with the site, because that is now a functional thing that helps curate content. You can't see it because I'm not on the right damn screen, and I apologize. I did a dumb. I feel like such an asshole right now. I'm going to share it this way because that's way easier. Did all that work for nothing? All right, here we go. Sorry about that, boys and girls. It's been so long since I streamed on Restream in general that I'm just not quite getting the hang of it. Where's my GrindheadJim at? Window, Chrome tab. Dude, here we go. All right, there we go. So you should see it now. Let me just swap her out, and then do a little bit of this. There we go. Okay, so this is the website. It shows you all the videos and stuff, and the search feature works to a certain degree, but it works, and it has a function which it did not used to have. So that's a good thing. I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to here. Nope, that didn't work. Shit. Minimize that. Minimize. There we go. Took me a second to figure that out. That was weird. Oy, oy, oy. I'm still working out the bugs, so I apologize for that. Okay, this is easier, so I can do that. Okay, cool. Alright. Now I think I have the hang of it. Oy. Okay, sorry about all the hoopla here. Alright, Young Demille 12 over on the old Kick there says, "Hey dog, love your energy towards streaming. See you grinding towards achieving streaming goals, love part of the journey." That's probably spam. So, sorry about all that. Joe the Big says, "Y'all enjoy the new year." You enjoy the new year, sir. You enjoy the new year, and I love you. I love seeing you. Bjorn says that the Ghost is the heaviest toy he owns. I don't know which one is. Probably Eternia. Although Dragonfly's not far behind, and Voltron's up there. I don't know. Jonathan Redmond's in the house. Says Happy New Year, Jim and chat. Nice Voltron. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. Epic Badger asks if I prefer YouTube or Patreon backing. Patreon, because I get more of the money that way. YouTube takes 30%. So I much prefer Patreon, and there's stuff you get there that's easier to access. The notifications work better. So I recommend Patreon for people all the way. So that's what I suggest. So thank you for asking. So grindheadjim.com/Patreon takes you to the page. If you want to pledge, you can pledge whatever amount you like. We got a bunch of different stuff with some perks we're working on. It makes things better for you. And let's start. Boba Hicks, I am never selling NFTs on anything now. Or ever. Ever. Promise. Promise. But Boba Hicks promises to launch a meme coin at midnight tonight. Use the buy code 5CAM. Atom. It's probably some kind of code for cunt. I don't know, Margot. I don't know. Okay. So, that is where we stand on certain things. And things in the future will become apparent over time. So, I hope everyone's holiday was good. I hope you guys have been restful and everything. And I'm real happy to be here and see you guys. I know I've said that a bunch of times. So, let's talk about some toys. All right? So, a couple of you have already pointed out a few things, so I'm going to kind of go over. Epic Badger says, Leet speak. Oh, got it, yeah. Alright, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So, I did get the Dragonfly, classified Dragonfly. Was really stoked when this came in, and I gotta give Hasbro a lot of props. When it comes to protecting the Dragonfly, that was some of the best packaging I've ever seen for anything, let alone a toy. And so it has these thick, semi-thick plastic four-corner protectors. So you have a shipper box and you have four-corner protectors in a smaller shipper box, and the toy is inside. So you got 2 layers of protection plus the, I guess you could call it a third layer of corner protection as well. It's perfect. It's great. And in fact, it's sitting on its shipper box right now. I will be taking it out and assembling it and displaying it somewhere in the room. We have to wait until we get some more things cleared so I know kind of where it's going to go. But it will be out and proud, okay? There's a Master of the Universe Origins Viper right there. That was a part of the shipment of Christmas things. Viper is awesome. It's awesome. And he matches the Eternia Snake Tower, which is a good thing as well. Not a ton of Motu stuff this quarter. I got the Stranger Things, both of those sets. Target had one of them on sale for half price, and the other one was on sale for a little bit for the regular. It was up for sale at a regular price, and there was a coupon to get like X amount of money off of so much toys. I ended up getting the pair of them for about $45. Online, they arrived like 2 days later. It was wonderful, and for anyone who was able to take advantage of that sale, you know exactly what I mean. The He-Man and the Skeletor are pretty cool. I obviously got them for the extra characters they came with. They're nice sets. I'm happy to have them. Jason asks if this is a McFarlane Wonder Woman. It is not. This is a Mattel Superpowers DC Universe Wonder Woman. But it is going to go with my multiverse guys. So, Badger had a great holiday. Traveled 2,000 miles by car and got 2 varieties of flu over 1 week. Children carry many wonderful gifts from within. I agree. Bjorn says the Ghost was equally protected, telling me that Hasbro shipping department is doing a good job. So you got to give them credit where it's due, right? Badger says Dragonfly is awesome. Wildville's MVP. I agree. One of the biggest reasons I got it. I got protection, man. I got protection. Listen to me. Listen to me, you fuck. Okay, sorry. Had to go full Boddicker for a second. Shouldn't do that. And yes, that is a Mattel Wonder Woman over my shoulder. Yeah, I picked her up the other day. The other day, a couple weeks ago. The price was too good to ignore, and from what Badger has told me in the past, there might be another Wonder Woman lurking somewhere in here that he has opted to say I could have it. So if that's the case, I will take that one and go look at these and see which one is better, and then I'll probably either give away or sell the other one, especially if it's this one that I don't like. So I'll make sure that Wonder Woman is made available to anyone who may need it in their collection. So that is another get. You'll see the Action Force Weapons Pack Hotel, which is all Arctic stuff. It was on sale with Big Bad, and I was getting some other stuff, and I said, for the price, I can't turn that down. More weapons is more weapons, right? And so I was happy to get that. Boa Hicks pointed out the Studio Series Springer. I didn't have one yet, and his price was really bothering me, and he went down in price pretty dramatically on Amazon right before we left for Oregon for Christmas. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give Santa a call, and Santa came through, got me that. I also got the entire wave of superpowers. So you got Superman, Batman, Bizarro, and the Riddler. I got doubles on the Batman and the Riddler. I will probably be getting the Superman in a double as well. All of these are either completely separated the bubble from the card, or they're about to. Now it's a clean separation, so the cards are pristine, which is kind of cool, and it makes it easy if I want to reglue them for display. It's a pain. A lot of people that got this wave, regardless of source, I got it from Big Bad and from Amazon, so they're whatever the factory's doing with glue on bubbles for that wave sucks. So I don't recommend that at all to anyone. And then we over here have the Tom Holland Spider-Man with the final costume from No Way Home. Spoilers. I love that. That completes the trifecta of Spider-Man for that. I got Snow Job again because the price was right. I love that character. For G.I. Joe Classified, you can't beat that. Got the Mattel Creations Geldor, which a lot of people are like, why would you get that? I'm like, because I remember the comic, and I remember the character, and I like him. Then I got a movie, MCU Deadpool from Deadpool Wolverine. I'm waiting on my Wolverine. Love that movie. Loved those characters and the costume design. Had to put that with my MCU Marvel stuff, so should be a blast for that. And I see Squigs says, what up, Jim and chat? What up with you, sir? Had a great holiday. I hope you are too. Badger says, I will laugh if you end up with two of the Mattel Wonder Womans if she still exists in that box. I would laugh too. But it's a good problem to have. Jason Garcia says, I can't remember, but I'm sure that I have one of them, both single card and the 7-pack. Right on. Yeah, I wanted the DC one really badly, the McFarlane one, and it just, just kind of flew away. I also got the Mattel WWE Elite version of Undertaker and Gobbledygook. I don't know if I ever showed that on stream. He's floating around here somewhere. I would have pulled him out if I remembered, but I didn't. So I apologize. Mac the Punk making, I believe, his YouTube debut here. One of my favorite guys from Scotland. Purple Burglar. Fuck it. I love you, dude. It's good to see you. I hope things are well in your neck of the woods. Manic Plastic Toy Store says they're using that Dollar Tree glue for the superpowers. Yeah, you're right. Bjorn says, Geldor is white Mr. T, right? Well, he's not fully Caucasian. He's got a tan complexion. The mold is similar. It's not exactly the same. It's close, though. It's close. But they did use the Mr. T as a base, as far as I could tell. And he does come from the vintage comic, so it's not a huge stretch that they made him. Bobek says, there is no why, only want. It's true. It's true. Squigs is working. Spent Christmas week moving. Ugh. Ugh. No fun. But I'm glad that you're moved in safe and everything. That's good. You just fucking moved like 8 seconds ago, it felt like. You people and your life choices and things changing and updating. It's okay, I have my own with that as well. Travels and More with Jason says, hi. I say hi right back. I remember you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Again, great to see everybody. So, almost 2 weeks ago, Lauren and I flew out to Portland, Oregon, which is where she's originally from, to visit family. We stayed with her parents and her dad and her stepmom, and we had a really great time, and it was relaxing. When I'm with family, I'm a bit guarded, generally speaking, because I'm not in my house. I can't swear as much. I gotta watch my P's and Q's, you know. You want to be polite to everybody, etc. ad nausea. Plus, my brother-in-law's 9. I don't want to, screw his brain up forever, But I was still able to very much feel like myself, be around family. I've met a lot of people I hadn't met before in the family. And without exception, I felt very accepted, which is new to me. It's very new. We ate well. My mother-in-law is an excellent cook. And on the rare occasion that she doesn't cook, either her leftovers are banging, or what they do get from in town is just, ugh. The pizza that they had on the last night that we were there. I don't know which old ladies they had to knock over, but this was good damn pizza. Let me go ahead and check it with you guys a second here. Brendan Haley says, greetings, first live stream of 2025. Thank you. I like being part of milestones like this. Mac the Punk comes back with a happy holidays. Hacky hog my nay. My lang you rumry. I trust you. I love you. So we ate well. We slept mostly well. We had our choice of 3 guest rooms, and yet we ended up choosing the one that had the least cooperative bed because it was attached to the most cooperative shower. It's a walk-in shower that's not huge, but it's comfy in there. So we kind of forsaken sleep for a bathroom that was really comfy. But it's a nice house. Those of you that follow me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever probably saw a picture of the view. It's a nice place. It's a bit, it was a lot to take in. But we had as much, hoopla, holiday visiting as we had. We also had plenty of downtime. We got to go downtown in Portland for 2 short jaunts towards the end of the week. There were things we needed, but I was very happy to go through downtown. I hadn't really, messed around in downtown. So we saw some stuff, and it was pretty cool. On the flight out, didn't really have any problems at all, except the seats we were on, they are not grindhead sized. They were not grindhead sized at all. And on top of that, we were up against this half wall because we were in the... So you have a crew member that sits right next to the emergency exit, and their seat's facing towards the back of the plane. We're facing towards the front. So not only do I not really have an armrest to speak of, but now I'm up against this wall like this for the whole damn flight. So that wasn't fun. And we were sore as hell getting off that plane. Otherwise, it was fine. The flight was smooth, no problems. Flying back, it got delayed twice by over 2 hours total. Oh boy, James Salzberg with the $2 super chat says Merry New Year. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's going to a good cause. Love you, man. The Salzberg himself, man. It's awesome. Thank you. Flying back, we had the delays. Then we finally get to the airport, only to find out that the entire corridor in which American Airlines, where we were flying with, was located, was closed off. There was some incident near the luggage carousel that precipitated closing the entire run. So, like, you couldn't get to Alaskan Airlines, American Airlines, a couple other airlines. You just couldn't. You were just stuck. So we couldn't check in our luggage. And that was a problem. Never quite found out what the deal was with that. But it's a thing. And we sat there for a long time. Then we check in our luggage. We get to the gate. And we spoke with a very, very kind young couple. They're young. They're older than us. But they were just a kind couple of people. It was a nice conversation to have. Which was the calm before the storm. We get on the flight. And there was a sprawling family of, like, varying generations of about 9 people, of which 4 of them were children. And 2 of those 4 children were screaming at nearly all times throughout the flight. Thank Godzilla for noise-canceling headphones. Lauren and I had downloaded the extended cut of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, prior to getting on the flight, and we watched that together to kind of distract ourselves from all the crap. It also had the most turbulence of the 2 flights, but we made it home. We made it safe. Then we got Gabby and Jasper, our dog, and our cat back home. Life could not have been sweeter. We spent a lot of yesterday just kind of trying to rekindle ourselves to Central Time from Pacific Time, and today is today, so I missed a Christmas live stream. I was not going to miss the opportunity to stream for this, but I also knew I probably wouldn't make it to do a proper, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Happy New Year. So I figured I'd do a 2024 wrap up and a New Year's all in one. So that's what you're getting here. So I've gone over all the toys except for Voltron. Voltron is that Playmates reissue, 17 inches tall, big boy, right? I had the Matchbox version when I was a kid. I got it separately. So I got the black lion for my birthday, and for Christmas I got the other lions all packed separately. Never had one with the sword. This one comes with the sword and all kinds of doodads. It is a masterpiece. If you like Voltron, that's the one to get. For 100 to 110 bucks, get them. You get them at Target. You can get them at Big Bad Toy Store. I've seen them on Amazon as well. And I certainly recommend getting the gift box with all of them in it because, whoo, that is a beautiful box. It's a beautiful box. Salzberg took Piper shooting with the first pistol today. That's awesome. I hope she did well. I don't know why my hair's trying to stick out here. It's bugging me. Brendan Haley says it's 7:15 a.m. in Australia. Eesh. Gojatron theorizes that John McClane was responsible for the Christmas incident. Might have been. Might have been. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So, yeah, it was just odd. You had this guy. This guy kind of looked like me, but younger. And he's like, "You can't come through here." And he clearly manufactured low voice. "You can't come in here right now. I'm sorry. There's further investigation taking place, and you cannot pass it at this point." And it was like, bro. And I leaned into Lauren and I said, $5 says that guy has a hard on right now. Because it was the most power that guy has ever wielded in his life. You could tell. Didn't have a lot of sympathy for the people that it was affecting. He just wanted to wield his little power penis. His little power penis. He was just like, "Can't come through here." But it all worked out. It all worked out. So that's my holiday haul as far as toys go. We also, as a family, procured a bunch bunch of movies. Lauren got the whole 8-pack on Blu-ray of Harry Potter, because we need to watch those. I've only watched like the first 4 or 5, and I'm like, I get the formula, I'm done. But she loves it so much, I'm like, well, let's go ahead and check it out. I also got her a Lord of the Rings dark something. It's a door knocker with a skull and a snake on it. And I'm like, whatever it is, I like it. It happens to be Harry Potter. Boom, bam. So when she gets a lady lair in an eventual house, she can have a door knocker there. We can put the door knocker wherever she wants. It's up to her. It's her thing. I also got her a pony, a Barbie pony. Was the last minute. I'm like, this doesn't have enough panache. And she was saying how when we do mixed drinks, which is one of my favorite things to do, ice is becoming a problem where it's like, I don't know, we don't have enough space in the ice tray that's inside the freezer for the ice demand that we have. We have a nice ice maker that we use, external. So I came up with the idea to get a nice ice bucket. So I got her the nicest ice bucket I could find for the money. And then I also got her this crank ice shaver, so we could shave the ice down and do crushed ice and all this stuff, which was, they weren't the most expensive gifts, but they were just things that we could really use that make her life easier when she's making drinks, and also kind of kick it up a notch, because the ice bucket looks like it's made out of quartz with shiny copper streaks in it. It's pretty nice. We each got a bunch of different t-shirts. My favorite was the one she got me. It's just a navy blue shirt. Has a big Fantastic Four logo on it. Just a 4. And I'm looking forward to wearing that. It's in the luggage somewhere. I just haven't worn it yet. I'm real stoked on that. We got a bunch of Trailer Park Boy stuff. This was meant to be our Christmas shirts, but it arrived an hour after we left the house. And to show you how secure our neighborhood is, that Amazon package of 2 t-shirts just stayed unmolested on our porch for 9-10 days. It just smelled a bit of the outside, but the shirts inside were completely fine, and no problems at all. Thank goodness. Epic Badger saw the Voltron gift box at Target. It's large. It is. This is how far back it is. I have to stretch to touch it. To give you an idea of how big it is. It's a big boy, and it's beautiful. Payne's toy samples in the house. I'll be sampling your toys, Payne. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you doing so well, and always a joy to have you in chat. So, yeah, that covers most of Christmas. Oh, movies. So Harry Potter. We got all 3 Terrifier films. We're big slasher fans. The first 2 Terrifiers we loved. So I took a chance and said the third one, which was just coming out in physical media in time for Christmas, I said, we haven't seen it, but this guy's consistent. We'll get the third one. And we watched it last night. Whew! Great movie. And I love the direction the series is taking. The story justifies the sequels and shit. So that's good. We got all 3 of those. We got Galaxy Quest on 4K, as well as Never Give Up, Never Surrender, the documentary. Got that on Blu-ray, which I'm always happy to get physical media of that type. These are all readily available on streaming one way or the other, but I want to have it in my house. I want to have it on my shelf. Trying to think if I got any other movies for her or I. I don't remember. There's probably one outlier. Oh, yes. Dewey Cox. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story unrated, which is hard to find unrated on Blu-ray. But I found it for the right price and got it for. We're like, yay, we have that now. Epic Badger is jumping off to pick up his pizza, but maybe back before the end of the stream. Probably will, because I got some stuff to talk about, boys and girls. So holiday went great for us. Obviously, a lot of great hauls. Toy-wise, just a blast. Movies, just a blast. Gadgets, it's Christmas, right? You do the thing. And the holiday visit back to Portland was wonderful. And I cannot overstate how much the acceptance of Lauren's family permeated that whole week, and the support that you feel, and I really felt welcome, and not in that like you're new. Yeah, you get a lot of questions from people because they don't know you that well, but in general they're just like, hey, that's who he is, that's cool. And that was the whole conversation basically. So it meant a lot to me. It's been a long time, a very, very long time, since I felt that comfortable in a group of people of any kind, let alone family. And the first time in a very, very, very long time that I've had a holiday function of any kind with family. So it worked out really well. Billy Wifted just got in from work and says, hi, welcome. I'm sure you're a bit on the tired side. Thanks for coming to the show. I know this is way earlier than I would normally stream, but it's New Year's Eve. Everyone has their different things that they want to do. She and I have plans tonight of what we want to do. Keep it low key. We've got the champagne ready. We even have some specific 2 beers that we're going to have as our first beers of the year. Because 2025 is going to be pretty big, as far as I'm concerned. I had a long talk with my father-in-law about some things that I've been mulling over, some plans. We talked about my career. We talked about real estate and investments and all kinds of stuff. Just trying to make sure we're on the same page with all these things. And he really gave me not a kick in the ass, because he gives advice in a very humble way, in that, like, I want to try and get your brain going. I just want you to start thinking. But if you ever think I'm full of shit, just tell me. And he was really hitting the right nerve endings up here. You know, the brain processes were a-flowing. And he really made me look at my career path and my job hunt in a very different way. So I'm energized to continue to look in that direction. I'm very energized to see Ian Sweeney. Good evening to you too, sir. Nice to see you, as always. So in light of where we were at with the conversation, he and I, knowing the potential that's out there and thinking through a bunch of upcoming decisions in a very different perspective, I talked with Lauren, and we talked about what our future is supposed to look like. Okay? We've talked about staying in Texas as the default for a very long time. We've looked at houses in Texas. I've shown you guys some of the houses we've looked at and the price ranges we're thinking. And they're nice houses for not a lot of money. We've done similar searches in Colorado. And there's different types of houses, similar price range and everything. But we've also looked in Portland as well. Different market, different types of houses once again. So it's kind of like the question has been, where are we going to end up? You know, do we stay in Texas? Do we give Colorado a try? Or do we, how viable would Oregon be at all, if at all? And talking with him, having done a lot of real estate hunting in all 3 of those markets, and weighing the pros and cons of everything, we have come to a definitive decision on where we will be living when next we move, and that is Portland, Oregon. That's going to come as a shock to a lot of people. I wanted to do it live so we could talk about it, and I will be welcoming guests onto the show. So if you want to talk about it and get some feelings out, you can do that. But before I do that, I want to kind of go down what I think would be the frequently asked questions regarding this, okay? Like, when do you leave? The earliest we would leave Texas would be August of 2025, because that's when the lease is up for our current tenants in the condo that we own in just outside of Portland. And more than likely, we're going to be moving into that condo at least temporarily, for one simple reason. It's paid off. There's no rent. All we got to do is pay utilities and property tax. And we can handle that very easily with not a ton of income. That said, I need and want to be working before we move, because right now that condo is our income because of the rent, you see. So there's a conundrum there. So I get some kind of work that is remote. We go up there. Suddenly there's no rent to pay. That blows my mind, right? So then we can use it as home base to find a house that's close in the area and it makes sense. I'm going to show you guys the space where my office will be and where the toy room will be. And you will understand that this is not a sacrifice that we're making. It's kind of a one-to-one. It's similar in size to this apartment, but bigger in some other ways too. So the square footage on it is around the same, but we have the garage. And the garage we're converting into the toy room, which I'll show you. So it's not a permanent move by any stretch of the imagination, because we just don't see ourselves living in that place forever. But in the meantime, it'll be really nice. So the soonest we'll be moving, August. We intend to buy another property, keep the condo for income, and keep rolling that over unless a really good offer comes in for the condo we just can't pass up. It makes sense in the price range we're looking at to keep that as income to offset any mortgage we undertake. And there's plenty of houses up there that are in the price range we want to be, and there's some are a little bit higher we'd like to pay, but they're good houses and have all the things we need. Because I'm not getting any younger. Lauren is still pretty damn young, and she'll be getting into her 40s in several years and whatnot. But being close to family is really important. My brother-in-law being as young as he is, we want to be a part of his life. We want to have as much access to her dad and my mother-in-law while they're young and able to enjoy things to a certain degree. So for us, it just makes more sense to be close to them, because we have everything in Portland that we have here in Texas. There's slight differences in the climate, and they are slight. Like the summers aren't quite as hot, the winters are a bit colder, and you get more ice. But here, you do get ice, and it does get cold, but there it just gets colder, and a little more ice in the winter. But not crazy amounts of snow, which is weird. For as much precipitation as gotten in Portland, the snow is not that bad. I've seen pictures. I've talked to multiple people in and out of the family. They're like, no, seriously, there's not that much snow here. And no one really drives. And the summers are not as hot, which is nice. So, plus there are several mom and pop toy stores up there. Not a ton, like 3 or 4. So there's that aspect. There's plenty of great music opportunities there. I have friends up there already. Leon from Terrorizer and Exhumed and Phobia and his own projects. Leon de Muerte, old friend of mine. Been friends for over 15 years. He lives up there. We were talking. And, he's up there. An old friend of mine from high school lives up there. A couple other people. So we've got a lot of the same resources. I'm going to check in with chat before I go to some other stuff. Jimmy Salzberg says, best to be near a support system. I agree. Make the move easier and bypass new purchases. Having a paid home allows you to take a stopgap job. Exactly. We have those options. And Rolando, the Utah Toy Hunter, says, sup. I say, sup right back. It's good to see you. Love that avatar. Never change it. Jimmy Salzberg says, whenever I find the Mythic Legions we had sent you last year, let me know. There's a secret label, send it back to the packet. Oh, yeah. Anything we have here that doesn't belong to us is leaving before we move. Okay? Do not worry. You don't need to pay for it. We're working on some income things that are coming next month, and as soon as that hits, that stuff's going to start to go out. So I know that Largo has some stuff here, and we are going to try to help him get things moved down there sooner rather than later, so we'll figure all that out. I owe some stuff to a few people. It's all coming. It's just been a matter of other things. I know exactly where the Mythic Legions are, by the way. They're right there. Right over here. Know exactly where they are. Largo says, change of latitudes, changes in attitudes. I mean, to a degree. No pun intended. All right. Ian says, apparently the weather there is ideal for growing roses. True. True. And Salzburg calling out that was a great song that Largo mentioned. Rolando saying hi to everybody. Yeah, it's cargo shorts weather there all the time if they're like to the knee. And it's hoodie weather almost all the time too. Much more my speed, for sure. Travels and more with Jason says, it's funny, so many Brits stay in towns where they were born. I think 20% moved to different towns from the country. America moved so much. Percent you think moved to different towns. So what do I think that is driven by? Well, for example, I came up in a military town, military family. So I'm used to moving every couple of years. But I've been more than ready to say, this is my home, permanent home, build out things the way I want, and just be done with it. And that's what we want. And the question was, where is that? Now, if I were not married to Lauren, I would be staying in Texas, no problem. Because I've got enough here that by myself it'd be fine. And the pricing is right. But I wouldn't have been exposed to Portland were it not for her either. And that's a great option. Colorado would also have been a good option. Either way, one of those probably would have been it. But Portland has that added thing, that one thing that no other city in this country has, which is family. Lauren wanted to live outside of Oregon for a while to see if it was viable. And while it is, we both agree, and I want to stress that, we both agree that being that close to family is that much more important to us. So that's what we're doing. But as far as the U.S., prior to 2020, people move where the jobs are in America. Because there's that big a difference in job market sometimes, too. I certainly did it. If you're using pirate ship, which I also am, I can do that. But yeah, if you want to send me a label, I'm not going to complain about it. We'll absolutely box them up and send them to you. I just don't want you to feel like you have to pay for it. That's all. Does that include those bags living under my desk? They're on my desk over here, and I will hand deliver those to Melvor if I have to. But good question. James says, lots of us Americans are in townies too, less than an hour from my parents. Yeah. Largo says, Pacific Northwest is a fine place to be weird. It's the norm. It is the norm. And I rather enjoy it. There's some programs that the state offers that we can't get in Texas. There's a bit more, frankly, freedom in Oregon compared to Texas, which you would not think. But it is true. And certainly there's certain halflings leafs that are legal there, which open up a huge amount of possibilities for treatment for all my back problems and stuff. So, there's a long list of benefits and a very small list of cons. Speaking of cons, what happens with Retropalooza? We will make every Retropalooza that we can, period. I do still intend to do resale of toys and furniture and all the stuff I resell now. There's a lot more accessibility to places in Portland, and that's more of a kitsch thing that people actually like to do. So we're going to continue to do that. There's some great conventions for video gaming and comic books in Portland. I haven't seen a dedicated toy show yet. Maybe my calling is to start a dedicated toy show in Portland. Who knows? We'll see. But, have all those things, got great culture, got great restaurants, super happy. So next frequently asked question, obviously we talk about Retropalooza. I'm not severing ties with anyone from Texas. No one from Texas is maybe upset. No one from Texas has influenced this decision at all. So the Game Chasers guys, when they're ready to do another movie, I will fly down and I will do it. When they're ready to do Retropalooza, as long as I can afford the flight and the time off, I will be there. if at all possible. Sometimes we'll drive down. We're looking at getting a car that's more suited for road trips and doing more of that. Okay. What happens to the show? What happens to streaming? All of that stays the same for the most part. There'll be, of course, a little bit of a blip while we're in the move process and stuff. But it's all going to be the same to a certain degree. And with that, I can show you some of the stuff. And yes, the Melvor Spags need a home, Jim and Jim. Travels and more with Jason says, yes, family means a lot. If I was not close to my brother, I would move to Thailand. We talked about Thailand too. And I'm like, I ain't moving to Thailand. No. Not doing it. No way. I base that mainly on t-shirt sizes in Asia. They don't make stuff my size, even when I weigh 200 pounds less. The shit don't fit. And if I can't get clothes and goods the way I'm used to, then I don't want to live there. I don't care how cheap it is. I don't give a fuck how cheap it is. I ain't moving there. So, but it was a thought, but not one that I entertained for long. So let me show you the place. I can't show you the whole place because that would violate our privacy. It does stop raining from time to time. Quite often, in fact. But it is rainier than you might... It's not as rainy as a Seattle, but it's more rainy than Texas. So, go figure. So let me go ahead and show you guys the office that I will be in. I'm going to share this for you guys. Share. I'm going to share the window. Here we go. So this is the office here. This is two angles, and they're not very good pictures because it's a bit bigger than it looks here. It's around the same square footage as this office is now. It's just a different shape. I haven't decided where the desk is going to go. Probably in here, facing back this way, and then pop the doors off of the closet here, and then put some shelving in there. And that's going to be like the... Ooh, Salzburg with another super chat says, we don't say goodbye, we say good journey. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. We might be moving house, but I'm not just disappearing from anything, I promise. But yes, good journey. Largo says, if you offend anyone while traveling, does it make you a moving violation? It depends upon the severity of the insult, I suppose. Because my intent in my office is not for it to be a toy display room or streaming space all the time. It's meant to be my real working office, stuff for music, things like that. So that will facilitate, just it being a more formal office, I guess. So this desk and the nicer toys will go in there in a nicer shelving unit for show off. Basically, just call it is what it is. And, when I'm working, it'll be in there, be nice, relaxing. But then I will have a separate toy room in the basement garage because it's a slice condo. So let me show you that garage. Robert's Infinite Realm says, Happy New Year. Bit busy, want to say hi. Well, hi to you too, my friend. Good to see you. We're painting a lot of stuff. We're painting a lot. So don't you worry. And plus that carpet color that's not the carpet we have in there now. We got new carpet when we moved down here. So don't sweat that. So this, once I've made a few minor upgrades to it, will be my toy room in Portland. This is a 2-car garage. Instead of being 2 cars wide, it is 2 cars long. And it is beautiful, and I love it. I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean and epoxy the floor. And we're going to put sealant all along here, so like some kind of a vinyl kick plate of some sort here. We're going to extend that the epoxy flooring all the way out here. We're going to paint the walls. The walls will probably be white, except for this back wall, which will be blue. And so we want to keep it nice and bright down there. And with it being so close to being finished, I don't see a reason not to go the extra mile with it and just give it the zhuzh of paint and everything else. I have to check a couple things. Like, I believe this is a vent, so I believe this is air conditioned and heated. I'm not 100% certain on that. I have to find out for sure. But as far as square footage for a toy room, this is pretty boss. So I'm going to have to get a lot more of these shelves behind me to fill that space up. And the ceilings are nice and tall because of the, you're stepping down. So I think as a toy room, it's going to be a huge step up. A huge step up. And again, knowing that that's the destination, I can plan better and everything else, and then obviously the next one will be able to do more. Harker says, the longer the garage, the bigger the toy collection, right? Ricky says, Jim! Ricky! It's good to see you, buddy. But I hope you guys can see that, there's a living room, there's a dining room, there's a kitchen. The kitchen's a huge upgrade for us. The master bedroom's a huge upgrade for us. All the bathrooms are in pristine shape. It's a great place. And I look forward to either keeping it as an income or selling it to get a huge profit at some point. It's a great asset for us to have, that condo. But I can't believe I didn't think about it before. Like, really gave it serious thought. Like, I talked about moving to Oregon in the past. I kept my intentions secret with Lauren, that I kind of knew that's where we were going to probably end up. But it really came down to how she felt, how the family felt. It was not a hard decision to make once those answers came to me for those questions. So I don't think it should surprise anyone in the long run. But that is what it is. If anyone has any questions at all, please ask. Because I don't want anyone to think that there's some other, everything we're doing now is going to Portland. And it's not for several months, 8 months minimum, okay? I do want to get back to streaming regularly, and I want it to be something that I can sustain even after the move, so the timing will change a little bit. I got to figure out what that might look like, okay? But I might keep it right around that Monday time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Depending upon what I end up doing for income. If I have that kind of flexibility, yeah, I'd love to keep it the same. Ian Sweeney saying that I probably knew exactly what I was going to do, but dare not say it out loud. Yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I was so worried about the real estate market. But we've seen a lot of houses in the same price range that we need. It's just, to get the house we want here, that's comparable to a Colorado or a Texas house, we're paying a little bit more. That's just the reality of it. That's the only thing. Bill, with a very good question, will there be room to display the Eternia playset? Yeah, there's plenty of room in that garage for that. Plenty of room. I will not be displaying it the way that I ultimately want to display it in the final Forever house, but I have some ideas. So, like in the corner, when you first walk out of the stairs into the garage, I can't really put a whole bunch of shelves right there, but I did think it'd be nice to put tables and create a corner that's like an Eternia Master Universe corner. So kind of like a preview of what will come, and it is still the first thing when you walk in. And then shelving all the way along the walls. I'll have like a little laptop cart down there for streaming, and it'll be like a little mobile doodad. It won't be like this big setup that I have now, because that'll stay upstairs. So we'll keep the toy room light and casual. We'll stream from there. It'll be cool. It'll be real cool. W. Dill, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Ricky says, Portland? That's about a walk away. Yeah, that's where Lauren's originally from. We went and visited family up there and decided that we do want to stay there. Largo says, once I put my lips around a voodoo donut, I'll know Portland is home. I didn't have one. Travels and more with Jason says, yeah, clothing's a different size in Thailand. Yeah, I'm not Thailand size at all, dude. I'm just not. And that's okay. So I realize this is going to come as a bit of a shock to people. And I don't mean for it to be. We've been live for a little over an hour. I would like to open it up for guests. We're sending links to my usual suspects. If you want to join, that is fine. If you don't want to join, that's okay too. You can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I am not going to mess around with it too much. So if anyone wants to join, you can. Within reason. Ricky heard Portland's pretty nice. It is. It's very nice, actually. It's very expensive, but not that much more expensive than here in DFW. A little bit in certain ways, like the gas prices are higher, for example. However, the gas prices in Portland are higher in part because they're full service only. So that's a thing. You're getting full. You don't have to get out of your car. And I'm kind of like, that's weird to me, but I don't mind paying a little extra knowing someone's getting a good wage. It's beautiful country out there. Most of the houses we've looked at that we like the most has some kind of a forest or mountain view of some kind. And they're great. And we're not sacrificing anything else about the houses to do that. So for us, the key is going to be have a large garage or large rooms in the house for toy room. Basement's a good thing. Some combinations of those things. And, the same things we're looking at here. It's just in Portland and the surrounding areas, it manifests a little bit differently, and a yard is important for us too. So we have a great real estate agent in Portland that was actually the real estate agent that the condo was originally purchased through, and we wouldn't dream of using anybody else. So we're going to talk to her about find us that diamond in the rough, find us the right deal, and we'll be, ready to go. But for now, it's just, okay, I have 8 months to get the toys organized well enough that when I go to pack, it's not a pain. Also to find gainful employment at a level that I know I deserve, so that when we are suddenly have the culture shock of not having to pay anyone rent or a mortgage at all, that we can really smartly apply those funds to saving for down payments, for reinvesting into our investments that we've been, and our savings and so forth. So we're doing that. No joke, Carl. When I pulled into the full service, when I was visiting Lauren, while we were in process of the move here, it was so weird. It was so weird. Ricky says, was about to say DFW Houston prices are yeesh. Yeah. So if you're used to those, Portland's not a big jump. Not big at all. Like, you might see about a 2% difference in the groceries overall. But you have a wider array of grocery stores there, and they're higher quality places. So, like, I've always been a big fan of Safeway, and I can get all the stuff I would normally get here, but also to Safeway. They have Kroger and stuff, which a lot of my brands is good, So I'm very happy with what's up there. And of course, there's a great beer scene. There's a great wine scene. There's, not missing shit, really. Travels and More Jason says, got a question for you. What's your best toy line do I like to collect? You say vintage Star Wars, lines. So obviously I have some Star Wars stuff back there. If you squint, you can see a Slave One right there. I have a very limited number of Black Series Star Wars stuff, and there's more Star Wars stuff to come. Now that I like this Voltron here was one of my last my little big grails, if you will, where it's like, I have to have this in my collection kind of thing. I think Superpowers collection is something that I am the most stoked for at any given time. I have so much of the vintage and the new McFarlane Toys stuff. Really blends in nicely with that. My Transformers collection is getting a lot of love from me, I would say. Any toy line I collect, I ravage. I just go after it pretty big time. But as far as like most impressive would probably be Motu. And I might pose that question to my guest who just arrived, the Display or Dysfunction co-host and one of my best friends ever, let alone in the toy universe, Mr. Jim Largo. He is here and large and in charge. Sir, welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Largo, can you hear me? He can't hear me. He can't hear me. Well, that's not any fun. He should be able to hear me. It's broken. It's broken. Jim. Oh, Jim.
Can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Are your headphones plugged in? Because they're plugged in, of course you can't hear me. So we're going to figure this out, folks. I'm also going to add the title card as a background, just for funsies, while we wait.
That's weird.
It is weird. I'm not sure why that would happen to him. I even gave him time to get ready. Alright, so that's uploading there. Ooh, that's too busy. Ugh, don't like that at all. That was a bad idea. So I'm going to go back to chat here. Gerard K says, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you, too. For those that don't know, Mr. Largo cannot currently hear me. It's probably a setting in his restream and or his headphones aren't connected. I don't know. There's only so many things it can be, but if you can't hear me, I can't troubleshoot it. Chat, feel free to throw some ideas in there with your typed things. Any questions about the place itself or what I plan to do with the toy room, for example? Ian Sweeney says, I blame that he shaved, facial recognition is not working properly. That's fair. I bet, because the beard has power, right? You get rid of the beard, no power. And Badger is back. I don't know if Badger was here. In fact, I know he was gone. He was picking up his pizza. I revealed to chat that we are moving to Portland permanently this year. We are starting by moving into the condo that we own because that's a no rent, no mortgage place, and it's a good place to start building things up. Takes a lot of pressure off of us for a lot of different things. We want to be close to family, and it just makes the most sense for us in the long run. So you can see me, but no audio. Okay. I'm sure that your headphones are off and or not plugged in. Then check your audio device selection here. Hey, I hear. Hey, I hear him. So there we go. Ben Stutley, hey mate, says Happy New Year.
For some reason, my audio's not working. Well,
Happy New Year to
I'll
you
say
too, sir.
Happy New Year, and I'll pop out and try to come back in and see if that works.
He'll be back. As says Portland, ho! You should come visit us on one of your fancy dancy road trips. And I know for a fact that flights from your area of your neck of the woods to Portland are not that expensive. We'd even finance a flight if it made sense to you. Because I think you'd love it up here. Travels and More Jason says Superpowers line is cool. Yeah, it's my favorite by far. Motu is the one I probably have the most fun the act of collecting, right? But Superpowers is my favorite toy line. So I know that's a weird thing. Um, his mic is on and we can hear him. We'll double check, but he can't hear me yet. So we can hear him fine. That's not the issue. Aha! Jesse's here. The Badger is in town. What's up? How you feeling, buddy?
Can you hear me if I talk like this?
Yeah, I totally can.
Good. Because this is about as much as I'm going to get out of this voice.
That's fair enough, man. Thank you for braving your health for this.
I feel fine otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 4 niece nephews.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have kids where I live, so saw all of them this week. And yeah, so yeah, my mom got sick and my dad got sick. It was all in the stomach, so I got that. And then a few days later, Mom and I started to get sick with a different flu because the kids were runny, and
Right.
they recover quicker. Because my body's like, what's this foreign object? What are these little things now inside me?
Yeah, when we were up there, we obviously Ryan was there, and he oh, I shouldn't have said his name. My brother-in-law was there, and he he goes to school with a bunch of kids. I expected fully to get something from him. We did not, but it was very wet up there, as Portland is known for being. It was chill, and because we don't want to be doing anything involving vapor in front of him, we would always go on the back deck to do so, which is why I got so many pictures of the cityscape of Portland. So I think that hydrated our sinuses in a way they hadn't been in a long time. It's a bit drier here. Not totally dry, but a bit drier, plus pollen, right? Plus you spend time in the airport, and then, like I said earlier, there was a bunch of freaking children surrounding us. We were under attack. Adorable, but obnoxiously loud children.
Yeah, I'm jealous of my friend because he lives in north of Seattle. We're bone dry up here. Like, if you go up to Aspen Vale, Silverthorne, they're getting snow, plenty of snow up at the tip of the Rockies, but like all around the Rockies, we're dry as a bone. But the Cascades are getting all the snow. And It's like, I've been talking to my friend for years about going up to the Seattle area. He lives north, like Lake Stevens, Lake area.
Sure.
So I don't know. That might be a thing that comes up.
And Seattle,
I need
Seattle proper.
Cold. I don't need this stupid warm stuff.
Well, if you want cold, then north of Seattle is the way to go.
Yeah.
And we'd only be about 3.5, 4 hours tops from us at that point, and it's not a bad drive.
It's so pretty up there too.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Have you been to Leavenworth?
Not yet, but I will be.
I love
Travels
that.
and More Jason says that. Oh yeah, that happens, and I was worried that I lost my voice just from talking so much because everyone wants to know about the new guy. Some people I'd met and wanted to start conversations back up. One of Lauren's aunts, we talk on Facebook just through comments and stuff. So if we kind of had a rapport going, but we hadn't had a deep conversation yet. So she was very much like, "Hey, let's do it," So it was, so much talking, and plus the different changes in all the damn weather and everything. So I'm tired, for sure. I don't know how we're going to get through 2 bottles of champagne tonight, but we're going to try. We are going to try. Yes.
That's the American spirit.
Largo thinks he's fixed the audio.
Great.
All right. Good, because I didn't hear the bell when you came in, so thank you for... Whoa! Holy shit!
I can see clearly now. I can hear your beard.
Yeah, it is.
And the rain is gone.
That's right. See, this platform works just fine. Ooh, store-bought deli pizza. Pizza is a lost art form, man.
This is Papa Murphy's. They make it. Now I go in, I pick it up, and I bake it, and it cost me nothing because it's my birthday.
Right on. It is your birthday today. Happy birthday!
I've been getting a free pizza from Papa Murphy's for over a decade now. It's awesome.
Birthday pizza. That is excellent.
So I'm gonna throw this out there.
No.
I don't think we can do it today, but this week, Laura and I could buy you a meal.
No.
Or I could try to find you a toy.
You don't need to do that.
I don't need to do it. It's your birthday.
If you get a Happy Meal, it comes with a toy. So
I ain't buying no fucking McDonald's for nobody.
The last time I bought a Happy Meal, it was Wendy's because I was helping Goji get access to his little DC minis.
Yes.
And I went
several
times. So like, I need to get this one and this one.
It's been almost 2 months since I've had McDonald's in any form, and I'm happy about that. We've been slowly swearing off fast food places, and that's another thing about Portland is that while it's available, there's so many other better options on the same price tier. It's like, why would I bother? Not to mention having a nice kitchen.
And it's absolutely feasible to buy a Happy Meal just to get the toy. It happens. It has happened.
Been tough. That would be different. Is that I've been on a diet for a few months, and I eased off a bit. I'm going back into it in January because I'm trying to hit some health goals through May.
Mm-hmm.
So that spring, I could be like, hey, let's start dating again. Let's start doing stuff. Let's go outside. The problem is everyone keeps sending me gift cards to fast food places. I had at total $70 for In-N-Out Burger. So I took my family. I got $50 in 2 cards for Texas State Roadhouse. I got Chick-fil-A cards. I have just a $40 for a Japanese bakery. Like, they're stacking up. It's like I can't eat any of this.
Well, the Texas Roadhouse, at least it's not, a crap Big Mac or something. At least it's decent food.
I just want their bread. That's all I care about.
I didn't expect to live past 50, so being that I'm on borrowed time, I believe in excess. Lots of, oils that are bad for me, caffeine, nicotine. I'm doing it all, baby. Because
I got an earful. I got an earful from my mother-in-law while we were gone. She's like, "Will you stop talking like you're going to die tomorrow?" She went down. Was like, "Who died of what and how old and who to what and then that?" And she said, "Well, genetically, you're going to be at least 70."
Ugh.
I'm like, all right, that's fair, because she's right. Because everyone that was in my family was taken out before they were 70, not natural causes and environmentally influenced illnesses. So it's like, well, I haven't been around that much asbestos, and I definitely didn't smoke 3 packs a day like my old man did, and I treat my acid reflux, what he didn't. So
you were a Marine. How many crayons did you eat? Because that may contribute to colon cancer.
They shipped all of my crayon ration to you, which explains why you would ask such a stupid question. Crayons. Get fucked, Largo.
I spent a lot of time at Camp Lejeune. That is a very valid joke.
Look, don't compare me to some fucking 03 idiot.
Question: do tracer rounds have any residual issue if fired fired within close proximity over and over again while you're drunk?
No.
Okay.
As long as they don't burst, you're fine.
Yeah, you might see some weird.
So that won't explain half of my dad's problems, but that will maybe explains his hearing.
Well, it definitely will explain the hearing.
Let's just say 4th of July, Vietnam, Watchtower.
Oh, sure.
Alcohol.
Yeah, tracer rounds. I'm still not even sure what the hell's in them. But basically, my range instructor at boot camp said, "Listen," because I asked something. I was like, "Are these safe, sir?" He says, "For you, not for the enemy." And I said, "That's fair enough, sir." I says, "But what about the chemical?" He said, "Look, treat it the same way you would a thermometer. You wouldn't purposely open a thermometer and pour it all over your body, would you?" I'm like, "No, sir." He says, "Well, there you go. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Yes, sir." No,
but
no,
silver and mercury is cool to play with.
No, not so much. But it just tracer rounds are fun. They're great. Because part of boot camp, at least for us, you take us out for a night fire. We get about 2 hours to shoot off tracer rounds with reckless abandon. And I was like, I'm in Star Wars, because it looks like Star Wars. but everyone's on the Empire side. You know?
Oh, it was neat. We had like an old truck downrange, so we were firing into the engine block, and it's really neat.
Oh, we did, Steve. For the old piece of equipment to get to fire at it, we did that in broad daylight with automatic belt-fed grenade launcher.
Nice.
The whole platoon got a shot at it.
I don't know if you can see it from like eye line, but like I love watching video. Usually it's panned out from a distance of the tracer fire, because as it's arcing, it just has this really cool arc as it's like gravity and everything.
Yeah, you can literally see the effects of physics on the bullet, which is quite literally what they're for, so you can target better, because the thought occurs that, like, all right, once you have it dialed in, you don't have to use them anymore. Just trust your aim at that point,
It'll be interesting to see how many injuries there are this evening, because though mostly it's fireworks here in Guatemala, there are a couple of people who just decide to fire off handguns straight up in the air, not thinking that.
Same here. Like they actually, the city of Arlington puts out this thing. They're like, no fireworks and don't shoot in the air because what goes up must come down. You're going to hurt somebody. It's illegal, motherfucker. And there's a higher fine, obviously, for just firing into the air than there is, say, for fireworks.
Well, so it depends on where you are in city limits. Like if you're in the city limits, are you near a school? Right. Are you, there are variables that could make
they don't
really bad.
Here, fireworks are cheap, plentiful, and perfectly legal. So they'll be fired off from now until next week.
My good buddy just over the border in Wyoming, because Wyoming, do what you want. And there's this landowner who just has this big empty plot of land, and he started with one fireworks stand, and now it's like a complex. But my buddy, this year for 4th of July, he had like 12 like pallets, like not pallets, but like what's that thick particle board? The real grainy piece of wood that can like break off.
MDF?
I can't remember, but he had dozens of boards with the fireworks stacked on it, wired up, connected to an app, and it went on for like the pre-show and then the big show. And we're in a field with like hundreds of other people, but once his went off, everyone stopped, and that's.
I bet.
It's just a line of cars from Colorado coming into Wyoming being like, what's going on over here? You guys are having all the fun.
He's like Gandalf hanging out with the hobbits, shooting off fireworks.
Which is, timely and topical, since I just watched the extended version of that on the flight back home.
Nice.
Which, I gotta say, that was my favorite part of the movie for the flight. I was just like, all joyous and all this stuff, and all this doom and gloom for the rest of it.
I did pick up one.
It is a classic that holds up, unlike some other things we've seen in the last few years.
Well, there's hope in a world where you can have like the grossest, over-the-top, sickening slasher film ever be, per capita the highest grossing film of the year, because it made 45 times its budget. There's hope.
Are you talking about the Barbie movie?
Poo, Blood, and Honey?
No, that movie sucked, by the way. I didn't get it. Like, put some effort into your mask next time, dude. That's all I'm saying. This paper bag shit. No. No, I'm talking about Terrifier 3. That fucker. Holy shit.
He's got a girlfriend now, right? Or is that a groupie?
I won't say. Because if you've seen the other films, I don't want to spoil anything.
I've only seen the first one.
All right. But I will say that the longer the series goes on, the more plot and the more lore we get, and the more it makes sense. And it's like, oh. And
all I know is you do not want to let this guy use your bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
No, you not. You don't let him use anything. Ever. Just keep away from the guy. All right? But that, if you like horror and gore, get these. These are great. However, if you're squeamish, maybe don't. because it does this balancing act where it is the most shocking gore I've seen in a long time, but it still functions as a good movie, and all of the kills make sense in context.
I gotta say the surprise for me as far as horror movies, I'm not a big horror aficionado. The Trick or Treat movie with the
from 2009.
Adorable.
Yeah, it's an anthology film, and it all takes place in the same night, and you don't know that at first. That's a bit of a spoiler. But knowing that going in makes it a lot more fun. And
plus, his whole thing is as long as you follow the rules of Halloween, you're fine.
And I would love to see them make another one, but it would be very difficult to top.
Yeah.
Because it was such a perfect little... This is a little universe. This exists now. So the question would be, how do you do a sequel that has the same vibe, and how can you still, surprise people?
They did do a comic book that had a couple of collected short stories that you could probably adapt. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's good as it is. Don't mess it up. Don't sequelize it to death.
Yeah, it would be... I think if you were going to do a Trick or Treat 2, it would have to be a different town, a different time period, a different set of anthologies, like different night, different place, whatever. I think that would be fun. I've always thought that'd be kind of fun to see a sequel to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. They just call it Season of the Witch 2. Because that concept of like the Halloween masks that are like this alien plot with corporate greed and all this shit. I was like,
it could have been its own series if they hadn't tried to connect it with the Michael Myers films. It's like that. Yeah, that could have gone somewhere.
Carpenter's original idea was, the name Halloween is so marketable. Here's the first one, and if he had it to do over again, he would have made Season of the Witch the second one,
and then an anthology. Yeah,
right. And that could have been, who knows where we'd be in pop culture with that. But alas. It did not happen in this universe, where it's spelled Berenstein Bears.
And the Monopoly guy does not have a monocle.
Right.
Thought he did.
Played Monopoly over Christmas. Physically for the first time in a long time. That was cool.
That's a risk when you're meeting your new family.
Well, it was just me. It was me, Lauren, and Ryan. And Ryan loves to play games. He's very competitive. And it came down to me and him. And I just slowly bled him of every cent he had. Because when Lauren went bankrupt, we were playing house rules. She says, well, if I bankrupt, then I owe you this money. You get all my properties. And I was like, okay.
Plus, you can foreclose on her, after you guys find the mistletoe, if you know what I'm saying. And I know you do.
Yeah, there's no bah humbug after that.
That's right. Speaking of bawdy rituals, I have a rousing game of Rummy Cube to go get into with my Spanish in-laws and outlaws that are waiting in the living room.
Outlaws.
I like it because it's a number-based game, so language is not an issue, and I usually win, which I like. I like winning. I never get tired of winning.
It's fun. Did you just say
Merry Christmas? I did not say Tiger Blood, but I might have some in my cup. I don't know. It's a little Christmas cheer left over. Enjoy your new year. I will talk to you guys sometime in the near future. God bless everybody and all that happy stuff. So.
Love you, pal. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for the invite. See you.
Of course. And then there were two. But yeah, so good holiday was had. Big announcements. But I think it's interesting, though. We've been juggling these three options for so long. And there's certain uncertainties with work and all this other things where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. But now that I know not only what area we're moving to, but that we're going to start by just moving to a place that we already own is... Again, I don't know why I had my head so far up my ass. Because you just kind of went... You know how big the garage is, right? I was in it once for like 8 seconds. And then I saw a picture of it and I went, that's a great toy room. It's longer than I would like, but it'll work for 6 months or a year or whatever. Plus sprucing it up with an epoxy floor and painting it and stuff. You could still use it as a garage. You could use it as a workshop. You could split it. So whoever's the owners after us would really have something cool, and we could charge a little more in rent because you could use it as a separate room for stuff. So I'm very keen on that aspect of it, like making sure that we're not making the garage not a garage, but still make, because it's already, as most of you saw in the picture. I don't know if you saw the picture, but it's pretty much finished. You just got to mess with the floor. So that'll be fun. It'll be a nice challenge. I don't look forward to making any more of these damn shelves, though. Like, building those shelves is a pain in the dick, but I need to get more of them. But, So, did you get anything super crazy of note for the holiday, aside from food gift cards that you want to share with everybody? Holy hell!
It's a cookie jar.
Still, that's cool.
So the story behind it.
Okay.
My mom goes to the casinos, and she's a member. And the casinos, what they love to do is they go out and they buy stupid stuff in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for December, they bought like 2 or 3 different items, like these cookie jars, and they got tons of them. So they can give them. So when their players come to casinos, they can be like, "Hey, stop by the VIP booth and pick up 1 or 2 free gifts plus your free drink." Right. And my mom got this little gnome, and she didn't want it. And she was going to give it to my niece, and my niece didn't want it. And nobody wanted it. It sat in the box in her bedroom. And I was in there helping her grab Christmas presents the night before Christmas to bring out, because I was helping get a bike out for my nephew.
Sure.
And I saw him in the corner. I was like, "Why do you have a cookie jar gnome?" And she's like, "Well, it's just Casino gave it to me and nobody wants it." I was like, "Can I have it?" Of course I want a cookie jar gnome to put out for Christmas.
Well, not to mention, like, you like to bake so much, like, you could fill that sucker up any given time you want.
And that's the gift I get from Mom is we have this agreement where, I'm young and single and I have disposable income. I don't need anything. And
you get the kitchen stuff, right?
It turns into this. For years, it was always this thing of like, I don't want anything. Well, I'm going to get you something stupid then. And a few years ago, we settled on just every year, just get me something for the kitchen. And so this year I asked for a kitchen scale. Just when I'm baking, it's easier to bake cookies and brownies and cupcakes, everything uniformly if I'm doing big batches, if I'm weighing it. So
it's good for food prep as well. Yeah. And it also doubles as a small scale for shipping things.
Yes.
Nice.
That's the other reason I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
I was selling
and I have one. I bought one as part of like my move-in thing here. Still in the box. I can't find a goddamn thing anywhere. It's around here somewhere. But,
the other thing I picked up. Do I have one? Oh, maybe it's right here. No, they're not. I thought they were right next to me.
Oh.
I was helping my mom clean out her garage because I try to do it every time I'm there. And there's boxes and boxes, and we got far enough in the back where I pulled out a box and it was just full of old family photos.
Oh, wow.
And what I mean by that, including black and white photos from the late 1800s into the 1930s, 40s era. And so
I started... really important to preserve stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to grab them real quick if I can find them. One sec.
Sure. So, while he's gone, I'll talk to y'all, chat. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. Kind of a rambling show. We'll be wrapping it up here a little bit after he shows us pictures, but I had a lot I wanted to get off my chest, so I did, and I hadn't showed anyone really my haul, so we got to do that. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not looking forward to having to tear this display down after the show, I'll tell you what, because I'm still not sure where I'm going to stack all this stuff. Luckily, the Dragonfly collapses into itself because it's standing on the box that it's on. Or we could probably stack other stuff around it and so forth. Lauren almost insisted that we buy a second Voltron just to keep one in the box because she loves how the display has the flap and everything. And I said, we're not doing that. Unless I get a really high-paying job pretty quick, it's not going to happen because I don't see these Voltrons being in stock in most stores for much longer. He is back.
Okay, so I can't find the ones I brought in the bag, but I took a bunch of photos before I left.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can see them here. So this, for example, is my grandfather, his grandfather.
So your great-grandfather.
Yeah.
Wait,
well,
your great-great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather. Two greats.
Wow.
And this is actually in a pile of, it's this big funeral home book because it has like the hymns, the newspaper recordings, everything.
Sure.
I found a huge collection of ration books.
Welcoming Bill to the show.
So you got
hello there.
You got your ration.
How is everyone?
Oh, that's cool.
And then just if I keep going, just after
that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a scanner at home?
I'm getting a personal one.
Okay.
But I don't want a cheap one from Amazon, so I'm looking for a nice one. Because I have
honestly, in terms of scanners, what's the price range you're looking to pay ish?
Once I pay off my student loans in May or April, I'm gonna have a lot of free cash on hand. So on Amazon you can get a decent one for like $180 or something.
Yeah, but
I want a nicer flatbed scanner.
If you want a good flatbed scanner, just get an all-in-one printer for about $100, and I'll give you the model number of what I've got, and it works awesome.
That one has a dog. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna archive these, and then sit down next time with my because this is all on my mom's side. Sit down with her and try to get as much information about who all these individuals are.
Yep.
What is that? Oh, that is a paycheck for January 1950. $40.
Hey, $40 is $40.
Big money. That was a lot of money for a week back then.
Oh, wait, I went the wrong way. Look at it. Woo! There's a sharp gentleman.
There you go.
So I gotta figure out who all these are, and then I have a lot more from the 30s. They're slightly colorized, so I'm just going through all these family photos to get them sorted out, and then I'm also working separately on my own photos from my own childhood. So that's all the.
Yeah.
So I brought back with me photos, a gnome, and two types of flu.
We were looking through the desk and moving stuff around, and I found some pictures. Like this is a Polaroid of me walking into Christmas in 1985. That's my reaction. You big in that? I can. Yeah, I can
like
do that.
Nixon getting on the plane.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Little bitty GrindheadJim.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it to focus in on it. Oh, it's 84. So that's 84.
Wow, I was 14 years old.
So this is when I saw the Hall of Justice.
Ooh,
this is the actual moment when I saw my box Hall of Justice under the tree.
Man, that wood panel wall.
Yeah, it was pretty much.
I know I've lived in those homes.
Oh yeah. And my mom was always good at. Okay, my dad would laugh at me sharing this particular picture, but this is a picture taken of my father at probably the worst possible time. But y'all should recognize this expression if you've been around long enough. Is that or is that not the face I make quite often on this very show?
Yep.
I come by it honestly, folks. I come by it honestly. But yeah, it was funny you mentioned pictures. We found some while we were doing a bunch of crap, and I didn't realize until just now. I always assumed that was a Christmas '85. That's Christmas '84. That's the Hall of Justice. I didn't know that I had that picture. So now I got to scan that sumbitch at the highest DPI I can, get a high quality print of it, and frame that bitch right next to my Superpowers collection, which we're going to do. It'll be a thing. Yeah, so like the rest of my plans for the year really come down to curating the collection, getting the plexiglass up. So we got the 5. Oh, nice. What's this? What you got?
This is my grandfather in 1917.
Wow.
The back of the picture reads, First Sergeant E.P. Thompson, U.S. Army, somewhere in France. He didn't even know where he was when the damn picture was taken.
That's awesome.
That was in the Great War, World War One.
WWI.
Yeah, they never called it World War One. They always called it the Great War back then.
Right. What's so great about it? It was just big.
It was a huge war. I think the war is great. But I just since y'all were throwing around pictures, I thought I'd throw around one. It sits up here all the time.
Of course, I like it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But I don't know who was here or not here at the beginning of the stream, but finally got some plexiglass to start putting on the shelves. We want to finish that off, make life easier.
Proof the collection. Good luck, brother.
Gotta protect it, man. And it's always been a robbing Peter to pay Paul scenario with you got to move this to move that to this and that. Well, now we have the plexiglass to cover up the Marvel Legends and 1/12 scale stuff, so Jasper can't knock it over. Now we can unload that. We can do that in an afternoon pretty easy, and then put the plexiglass up, keep it nice and protected and all that shit, and then the rest of the shelves will go pretty quick after that. And then once everything is already in this particular part of the room is cleaned up, then we go in, get the rest of the Motu out, get the rest of the Superpowers out, and hopefully a bunch of other stuff to where it's okay, as curated as best as I possibly can. Shouldn't take more than a couple of weeks if we really hammer away at it. And then from there it becomes, all right, now anything that I've decided is not on display in this room, pack it nice, bubble wrap the whole bit in advance, and then tape the thing shut, mark it what's in there, get a spreadsheet going, and then start doing that. Make a spreadsheet where each shelf has this, it's going to have a bin, all that crap.
Got a question, Jim.
Yeah.
And it's a legit question that probably a lot of the audience might be thinking themselves. So when you get ready to actually move up there, or over there, how are you going to ship all of your toys there?
We're going to use the same moving company that we used to get into this apartment, because they did such a good job and treated all the toys with such care. We're just going to hire a moving company and have them up there. But the trick is to have them packed really, really well. So not only am I going to get them packed super tight into plastic bins, I'm going to wrap those bins in bubble wrap, while just the outside of it, right, and let them stack them and just trust. Just trust from there. We'll have more bins because I will be packing less toys per bin. I won't be doing the bag thing. It's just a waste of space and money. So it's going to be layer of toys, flatten them as best you can with their poses and everything, keep their accessories there, layer of bubble wrap, do the next one, and so on. And just create that kind of a thing and kind of do that weird thing. So like the first row of figures might be facing head to toe this way, and then we'll flip them this way so that there's some kind of strength in everything, and then whatever dead space at the top, more bubble wrap, paper, what have you, and again wrap the outside with some kind of a padding of some sort. So if pressure occurs, drop happens, whatever. So yeah, we'll be using them. It's going to be expensive, but it was expensive getting stuff here at the same. It's like we looked at how, like, if you look at the amount of money we spent moving into this apartment, and then you compare it to what moving everything all at once into from one place to the next place, it's going to be cheaper in the long run. So it all works out. And plus having dedicated spaces, like in advance, we're going to have the epoxy done. Any painting that needs done is going to be done. if by some chance we got to replace carpet, it's all going to be done before we move in. Because we have that luxury as owners of the damn place. We can do whatever we want.
Cool.
So when the move-in comes, we're like, all right, all this shit goes in that garage. All this shit in that room, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, kind of a thing. Like, I already know what toys are going to end up, for the most part, in the formal office. So those toys are going to come off the shelf and get packed. Those are probably going to be the first toys to be packed for the move specifically.
Well, let me guess. You probably already said this because I came in pretty damn late because I just got in from work, and I look at too. But anyway, what I figure is, folks, Grindhead will have his little office, and he will have a display area behind him, and he will rotate the toys on that display area so that we will see different toys at different times. Oh, you need to do that.
Let me explain what's going to happen. My office will be an office, and I will have toys in there. It'll be the nicer stuff, the more expensive things. Like the Black Series will have their own shelf. The Mezco stuff will have its own shelf. Any of the Mego stuff, because it's so close to my heart and it's really special because the first two came from Salzburg. Those will go there. And then other random stuff. And just make it a very, very curated, super nice collection of the higher end stuff on that shelf. Nice lighting, like a wood shelf kind of a thing. Really, Now, as more expensive stuff comes in, yeah, I'll go up there. But I'm not going to stream from that office all that often. I will, but I will, make sure that at least once or twice a month that the stream comes from the garage. I'm going to have a rolling cart with a laptop on it and a cam, and have lights all throughout the place, and just different angle every time to involve people in the toy room.
I got you. Interesting.
Yeah. So like something like this where it's a talking head thing or a group thing, well, yeah, I'll do it from the office. It's more comfortable. But otherwise, get a nice rolling stool, get a nice rolling desk, and just do it down there.
Okay. Do you think that now that all your stuff will be displayed and easy access, in addition to live streams, do you think you'll do will you do more produced content? And I don't just mean like a toy review.
Yes.
I mean
Yes.
Like retro blasting, where it's like, hey, I'm going to talk about a subject, and I can now grab it off my shelf.
Yep. That is a huge part of the plan. So like getting this room ready in part leads to that immediately. And then when we're in the condo and have even a larger permanent space, it'll be even more conducive to that. That also because we'll have the extra space. So let me pull up the let me pull up the picture just to give you guys kind of an idea where I'm at. Which one is
I just thinking, and every individual is different, but like the way my work schedule has been, it's easy for me to like schedule watch laters on produced content and sit down and watch it for an hour or two at night, and then I don't get to live streams a lot of times until like maybe a week later because they're just so much longer.
And that's part of why, if you go to GrindheadJim.com/stream, it'll show you the last live stream that we did or the next upcoming one. That's a new feature for the website. But in this room here in the garage, for example, this shelf, because I don't want to take it down. I like it. I was like, well, how do I integrate this? So, because you can see right here, it's got wiring for like the routers and stuff, because the whole place is wired for Ethernet, which is like, it's like a dream come true for me. But I also mean, it's like, well, that means I got to put certain things there. And so the top shelf will be all networky stuff up here. And then this might be like some more toys. I don't know yet. But the point being that over in this area towards the front of the garage, that's where I'm going to put all the 3D printer stuff. Because if I got all this networking ready to go, I can control it from any computer in the house or the phone. It doesn't have to be anywhere near where I can hear it or anything else, which also justifies me getting a larger 3D printer for different stuff, because I've realized that this is a great 3D printer for what it does, but there's other things I eventually want to, print. It just makes sense to have more than one. So it's a great way to do that. Hey, Mr. Bork is in the house. Hey-o, Jim. Hey-o to you too, sir. Hey-o to you, sir. Man, it's good to see you.
Let me talk to Epic Badger there for a minute about just from my point of view. I'm not going to speak for Jim. He's much more able than I am because he's been around a lot longer. But in my opinion, and on my channel, I'm kind of, the live streams are still happening, but they're not happening on the frequency that they were before, because I want to focus in on that content, video content, and the reason for that is because that's what the channel is for. Live streaming is for fun, and it also, over a period of time, if you're trying to get monetized, you can get a lot of watch hours off those live streams, and that's why I was grinding them out like that. Jim already knew that. He knew what I was doing. But as a result of that, my dedicated content kind of hit the wayside. Now that dedicated content, you've got to do it though, because if you don't get the subscribers.
Right.
You get subscribers from live streams, but it isn't nearly what you get from having.
It's tough, and it's part of why I kind of, although I saw some really good traction from the video essay that I put up last year. This year, it'll be last year in a couple hours.
Right.
I loved what was there. I'm like, okay, this was a proof of concept. Now I was like, the next step is to get the room ready so I can just start pumping stuff out at a comfortable pace. And that process has just taken longer than it should have, because this whole year has been a big change to the way I process life in general. Like my father-in-law really made me understand where pressure did not exist in my life, right?
It's good to have somebody to outside of your box there,
right,
to look in and tell you something like that. But I wanted to tell you while you were telling you that, saying that, Jim, I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. I mean, you've gone through a pretty traumatic thing in your life. I mean, I've been through it too, dude. I know how it is. Okay. And you've persevered, and you're here. Look, he's here, folks. He's here. There he is.
And and he was very quick to, I won't directly quote him because I don't remember his exact words, but to paraphrase, he's like, look, if moving up here is your thing, as long as you have a viable income that you can make your expenses, that condo's the place to be. That makes a lot of sense. He said, just don't move in there without an income, because then you're really screwed. And he just kind of really, he understood. He's like, look, I am not going to come down on you for struggling to find a job. He says, that's the market. That's everywhere. He says, there's people all over many industries of people that I network with. They're all having the same problem. So I know it's not just you. And I know that you're trying, because you are always working hard on something. And I really appreciated him saying that, because he didn't want to step in. And then we had some really frank talks about where our investments are, and what the intent of the condo was when it was purchased, and things of that nature that just made me think of things in a way. It's like, you know what? We're fine. We're in a really good spot thanks to him and some other people that have been working hard for us behind the scenes, though we're able to stay afloat a little longer than most people would be, and we're very, very blessed, and I know that we are, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm not gonna brag about it, but I'm also not going to put pressure on myself in spite of it. It's like, you know what? Find the right thing. That's what he said. Find the right thing. Don't find a good job for this week. Find a good job for the next stage of your career, and don't compromise. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to find the right thing. And with that in mind, like, for example, there's a couple small toy shops up there, and they're all in the same area of town. So although there's coverage of toys, if you live in a different part of the city, maybe you don't want to go all the way up there. So it's like, and then there's a pretty good market for like flea markety, antique-y kind of vibes. So one of the things we talked about was maybe in a couple years opening up a collectibles antique shop to where I could have my wood shop and like refurbish furniture, build furniture, repurpose furniture, have toys, have comics, have collectibles, just a little bit of something for everybody, and just kind of have that. And it's something I would like to explore. It would be nice to have a home base for that sort of stuff, and also do an online business with it and everything. See where it takes us. It's a possibility, but I got to build some things up first, which goes back to moving into the condo where there's no mortgage, there's no rent, and we can save some money towards, capital and all this stuff. Yes, that means buying at flea markets and toy shows and Evil Bay and building up. It's going to be interesting to build up things for inventory rather than for a collection. But
yeah, but antiquing is so much fun.
Oh, it is.
I do it all the time, and I just nerd out on like.
I love taking an old piece of solid wood furniture and watching it come back to life with a little bit of oil, a little bit of lacquer, that kind of stuff. I really enjoy that. I just don't have the space to do it now. The garage, I will probably have some space to start that stuff. How much is going to depend upon, because obviously the toy collection is the priority, because I need a place where I can just come down there and be like, here's all my stuff.
Yeah, you really do. You really do, Jim.
We're way past, yeah.
I've got my place here, but I've got it junked up too bad. But we're going to get started.
we're
going to get started.
I still got that stack of damn. If you squint, you can still see stacks of Marvel Legends behind. This just happens to cover it.
Yeah.
We're going
to get started down here again, like I did at the beginning of this year, and try to get started again. Gojitron, wonderful. I don't have time to live stream. I'm too busy putting out delightful and informative videos.
He's not wrong
about that. He is absolutely right. And if you are a YouTube content creator and you want to see an example of how to lay out a video that people will watch,
Gojitron.
That's the man to watch. That's where I watch him all the time. Not just for the informative content, but for the educational value of creating what a video should look like.
That's right.
Got a question, Jim.
Yes.
What were your top 2 Christmas presents this year?
My top 2? Well, number 1 has to be this Voltron. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be that Voltron. Honorable mention goes to a Kirby Switch game that my brother-in-law got for me. He's like, I like this game, so he should. And watching him play it, I was like, this is going to be cool. I haven't sat down and played it yet, but it was like
that's the one where he eats the car.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's the one.
So
it's the newer one.
Yeah.
And he got me a physical copy because he's like, I know he collects, so I want to give him physical. So he got me physical. He was smart about it, right? Now, I haven't played the game, so I can't say with any certainty that that's going to be my top 2. Right. I've heard it's good. I don't think the Dragonfly counts because that we already were getting that. So I'm going to go with the latest wave of superpower stuff.
Okay.
Because it's a really cool wave. The
You like that
Superman. Hot take. I got a hot take. The Superman in this wave is the best 4-inch Superman that's ever been created. By a lot.
I absolutely agree with you. As a matter of fact, I took the other Superman out of the main Superpowers collection box and replaced it with that one, just like I did with the Detective Batman.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Jim, when
somebody wised them up and told them, look, they need to have this stance and this look if you want to emulate the old Superpowers line and get us nerds all nostalgic out about it. And I guess they paid attention. Badger, what were your 2 top 2 Christmas presents this year?
Well, from a stream viewing perspective, it was just funny for Jim to point back from our angle, from our view. He was like, the best Superman, and his finger is dead center on Batman. Like, this is the best Superman.
Right, but it is actually pointing. So if I go like this,
you have to continue to follow his finger. Yeah, there you go.
You can follow this finger.
Yeah, that's the best.
We could do all kinds of fingers here.
So what? Sorry, what was the question? I'm also
two Christmas presents of this year for you, Jess.
I mean, I didn't get a whole lot. I got my buddy Gnome. Did you see Gnome? I think you were on that when he was on. This is my Gnome cookie jar.
I like gnomes. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Really cool.
I'm gonna name him Shimbolic because that's where the name comes from. If you don't know, that's a personal name.
Name.
But I got that. I got a kitchen scale. I got
no toys.
Food gift card. No, that's stuff I buy for me. Like all the stuff that's hobby related, books, games, music. I get that for myself because my parents are just like, I don't know what to get you, so I don't worry about that. I get stuff that's useful day to day from them.
I've got my top 2 Christmas presents right here, Jimbo. The first one I'm really proud of now. I'm really proud of this. On my channel, I know you already know this, Jim, but some of the others may not. On my channel, we have a Secret Santa for the members, and about 5 of us got together and got that together. And one of my members, figuratively speaking, here on YouTube, also John Westby, sent me this book.
Yep.
This is the Art of Masters of the Universe Origins and Masterverse, with all that wonderful Axel Jimenez artwork that was from all the packaging on Origins. And now I kind of feel better about getting rid of a lot of my cardboard around here, because now I have this wonderful album right here so that I can look at the artwork in here whenever I want to.
Yeah.
So, I've got that. And then the other thing, now, Jim, I don't know if you've seen this or are aware that it even exists, but they have recreated the DC Comics 1982 style guide over at Standards Manual. This thing costs $99, and it's every bit worth it.
Oh yeah,
everything is reproduced in here just as if it were in that style guide. Even the cover looks like the old one, even though it's not a 3-ring binder. They tried to reproduce it as best they could. And I'm going to do a video on this, but this is a treasure right here, my friend. This is something that a lot of us, especially a lot of us in the Superpowers community, have wanted to get our hands on for years and years and years.
Gojatron says he got no toys for Christmas, but he got a Robo Skull, Superpowers JSA 3-pack, and the Secret Wars Titania the week prior. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Secret Wars stuff's coming next week, which I'm like, cool. Travels and More with Jason says still looking for the Matchbox version of Voltron. I gotta be honest. I have to be honest. I had that as a child. Don't bother. Get the Playmates reissue. It's a better toy. It is a objectively better toy. It's bigger. It's more accurate. It has more features and accessories that come with it, and it is properly. It's just a better toy. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to the Playmate reissue. I'm telling you, it is fucking great. I love that thing.
I'm not a Voltron fan, but I'll tell you what, I believe everything GrindheadJim says, because he sounds like he's in the know on that one. And
yeah, because I was looking for a Matchbox one for a while, and the price that fetches is just like ugh. And then a lot of the newer Voltrons, like, they're beautiful, but they're small. Mm-hmm. I want a big, beefy Voltron that I can do stuff with, to play with it.
The Lion Voltron, not the car Voltron, right?
Right. If they had the vehicle Voltron in that same scale, I would be over the Playmates. If you're listening, I know you're not, but if you were, make that, would you? I had both of them.
Kind of leaving money on the table if you don't, Playmates. Just saying.
You know, I get it. There's more moving pieces to that. You got to charge a little more, $150, $180. We'd pay it because that's a more complicated toy. I get it. Gimme. Jason got a Dalek for Christmas. Exterminate. And then Ian got 2 toys for Christmas. Masterverse Motherboard, which is a great toy. Even if you don't like the cartoon, that's a great character, cool design. Mm-hmm. And then parents got you Power of the Jedi Obi-Wan and Vader Final Duel Display. That's a nice little set. Mm-hmm. It's a nice little set.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, so I will use that to segue into 2025 and what that holds for the collection and stuff. So obviously everyone knows We're going to be moving by the end of the year if all goes to plan, and I will begin the process of museuming out everything. But I'm not going to stop buying toys in the meantime. You're crazy if you think that. But there's not as much that I have to go after. So aside from like just keeping up with the Joneses on like Motu stuff that's coming out and so forth, which is more of a trickle with Mattel Creations, which I'm actually grateful for because it's like, okay, I don't have to allocate as much money per month to that. Very excited for, was it next week? We get Rio Blast.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. That's probably going to be the last Origins figure that I really care about getting.
Yeah. And it's one that I wouldn't normally, pardon me. I normally wouldn't get multiple of anything from Mattel Creations because I'm just not that guy. I did get the 2 Frogmongers because I thought someone might need one, but then I realized, well, these can troop build and no one needed one, so I just kept it.
Yeah.
I got 2 Duplicos because you found me one, and then they had it on, I think it was Mattel Creations or Walmart. Somewhere had it for retail price fleetingly, and I'm like, well, Duplico, you need 2, so I got that. But with Rio Blast, I'm getting 2 because someone's going to miss out, and at some point after we move, I'm going to need trade bait or need to sell it somewhere, and I'm not going to rake anybody across the coals, but I'm going to make a profit on that, and I'm still going to give somebody a good deal. Travels More, Jason says, not seen that version of Voltron in the UK. It is available on Amazon here in the US. There's a possibility you'd still be able to get it as an import. Big Bad has it still in stock. You could ship it overseas for about $8 or $9, I think, is how much it costs to ship over there. That's through Big Bad. They have reasonable shipping internationally. I've sent stuff over to Boba Hicks multiple times, and I strongly recommend it. You'll have to pay, customs fees and stuff, but even with that, you're still paying less than half of what it would cost you to get a Matchbox one. So, strongly recommend that. Strongly. So, 2025. Obviously we're curating what's here. Yeah, I've got some Marvel Legends stuff coming. Yeah, I've got some Motu stuff coming. But most of my lines, most of them are at that, like if Superpower stopped making stuff tomorrow, I'd be fine. You can't see it, but I did get the black Batman 3-pack that they had when it was on sale.
They had that on sale on Amazon here recently. I don't know if the sale, probably not. I think it was like a 24-hour sale. They had it on sale.
They did it 2 or 3 times over the course of the holiday. Mm-hmm. The first time was like $32, and then it was $35. I got it when it was $32, and for that price, yeah, because I'll pay more than that for just the black Batman. Mm-hmm. Problem with this is, and this is for those of you, it will go on sale again, I'm sure. If you are buying this set to get a carded black suit Batman, don't do it. He's loose. He's loose. So don't
he's a figure, do that. He's a figure in a box.
And I almost got 2 of them for that exact reason. I'm glad that I waited to open it to see because I hadn't seen any information on that. So that's good. But anyway, my next big focuses are going to be on some retro lines. I got to fill out Star Trek a little bit. I have a bridge I have to buy. The owner of said Next Generation bridge is in this chat, and if my numbers are right, probably January we're going to be pulling the trigger on that. Okay. Late January, early February. Yes, sir. Oh, Batcave, right? You're going to ask me about the Batcave.
No. Can you remind me, when you talk Star Trek, because there's a lot of Star Trek toys, which company in scale?
Playmates.
Okay, the little 4-inch.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know
I've got a complete Next Generation bridge boxed over here. I showed it to Jim, and his mouth flew open, and slob came all out the side of it. So I'm holding that for him.
Because Galoob also did some as well. That was late. That's the stuff you can find for a dime a dozen. But
the Playmate stuff is like an offshoot of the Galoob, I think.
Oh,
they're the same scale.
They made so many of them, Jim. You will collect forever the rest of your life. I wish that I could teleport you here and take you up to Memphis. We have a store up there in Memphis. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a hobby shop. They do the RC cars. They got the huge RC cars with the tracks in the store and all that. And they do D&D in there. They also have the toys, and I'm talking about it is several thousand square feet of shelving, like in a store set up in aisles.
Yeah.
And they have all that Star Trek Playmates, those Playmates figures carded on the shelf like you would have saw at Toys R Us. And I don't collect them, but if I did, and even though I don't, I go in there and slob all over them going,
oh yeah, and I got a catalog, this big box that I have. There's like freaking 50 pounds of freaking figures in there. And I know that I've got probably every figure I could ever want.
Probably.
There are some that I just don't need. And
if
there are
got
some
that
that
bridge, you've got to have the bridge crew.
Yeah, I have the bridge crew as far as I know. At least one, if not doubles, of some of them.
Okay.
And then I already have the transporter room, and I have a boxed example of that. So the next thing is the bridge. So I got to get that. And then once I have
engineering came out too. I think the engineering.
Right, and that's next on the list after I get the bridge, because a deal's a deal. I got to get that first. Right. And then get the engineering, and then that's good. Now, whether or not that's going to get displayed in this room before we move, I don't know. I hope so. It all depends upon how space is doing.
It's big. I'm just going to tell you that. I know. Right. It's big.
But it really comes down to how space is in the closet once we start moving stuff out, packing stuff, and so forth. I don't know how that's going to work. But if there's room, absolutely. But if there's not, it's all going to get packed safely, put away. But then that's going to be one of the things I look forward to most displaying once we're there. So that's Star Trek. Star Wars, got more to get there, because I have this Endor, Imperial bunker set up from Power of the Force that Bjorn sent along with a nice Hoth station. I've talked about it before, but I'm hardcore going after a Power of the Force AT-AT walker. Probably going to go for a box example just to make sure it's in pristine condition, because the price difference is not that big. And, whether or not I choose to keep the box, I don't know. But I just want it to be in good shape, because those things can get beat up by people. I want a snow speeder as well, Power Force line.
Yeah, I was happy I got a shout out from Goji, because
I saw that.
He featured that on his show, and I was like, "That's mine."
Mm-hmm. And it was cool.
It is cool. It's just big, and I have many small ones.
Yes, and you have a bat cave that I'm very interested in as well. So we're gonna have to work out the numbers on that. Make sure.
You mean that play set that Michael French has a huge grudge against?
Which one?
It's the Batman Returns. So it's the brownish. I can grab it.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I like that one, in spite of anybody else thinking that that's a bad one. That's probably one of the best ones.
Well, to his credit, he said this is the nicest look of all the different ones. This kind of brownish.
That's the top two, Jess. The Batman Returns Batcave, which was actually going to be the Batman, the first Batman movie. Was
it was featured prominently in the Warner Brothers catalog that was handed out at the movie, and I ruled over that. I just didn't get it out.
The Dark Knight Collection Batcave, but the movie came out by the time they had it produced, so they went ahead and changed it over to that.
Right.
The other one is the cartoon Batcave.
Yes.
The Batman animated series Batcave. That one is pretty cool.
And either one of them are really nice.
As the kid who got that for Christmas, I used that toy for years because I used it with G.I. Joe, Power Rangers. Everyone used it as a command center. That Wayne Manor area in the front, it was everything. It was a bank. It was a warehouse. All those complaints about it's like I abused this toy so much because it was like the center of like 70% of my playtime.
That's awesome.
Well, one of the things that a lot of people.
1 second. I'm going to pause for a second. I want to catch up with this real quick.
Sure.
Mr. Bork says that he is happy. I would be happy to hear his kids are watching Voltron. That is great. We should still have your toy. This Voltron toy behind me is $110 on Big Bad Toy Store. Even in Hawaii, you could be able to get that for relatively cheap. Get it. It's bigger than the old one. It's better than the old one. Your kids can play with it. You can play with it. It's awesome. Go buy it. If you need a link, I'll text it to you. Also, Stu, the Universal Toy Collector, says, "Hey, gentlemen, wish you all Happy New Year. Hi to the chat." Well, Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. It's coming up for you guys. About an hour, I think. And love you to death, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And then Ian Sweeney says, sleep time for him. Sure can get sleep about 1 year, not wake up till the next without being in a coma. Have a great New Year, people, and peace. We got our very first see you next year joke. So, Ian, I expected nothing less. And apparently, Brian here is really, really stoked. He did not know you could get a Voltron for that price. You can. It's great. Look it up. Playmates, Voltron, Big Bad Toy Store. You will not be disappointed. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Spend the money. Get it.
Well, what I was talking to Jess about, with that Bat Cave, a lot of action figure photographers create what they call a street scene. I've done that before.
Sure.
And you get like the Ghostbusters firehouse, and you get like the little bank set that came with Batman and Wayne Manor. You just line them up and you make a street out of it, and that Wayne Manor just goes in really good. It looks like a brownstone front to me.
Yeah.
So it really fits in and makes a great street scene. So if you guys are doing action figure photography and you need a street for your superheroes to fight in or whatever, that's perfect as a house to go on that street.
Well, one of the things that I want to work on creating, because one of the things we've talked about getting when we have a larger space, which that garage might be big enough, it might not, is getting a large format printer. And I want to start printing my own backdrops for photography. So one of the things I want to do is either learn how to do it or send it off to a couple buddies of mine that are whizzes in Photoshop and get a still shot of that cityscape in the Superpowers commercial where you have the road with the buildings.
Yeah.
Get a good picture of that, get it photoshopped up, and just make a backdrop like that. Get some He-Man stuff like that. Probably use one of those flags like you do. Rather than having to print it out, whatever the case may be, or use like a Filmation background, like Mr. Home Arcade does, stuff like that.
Well, Mr. Home Arcade went to I think that site still, it's a blog that has a lot of still shots and cartoon cell stuff from the actual cartoon show, and he had those blown up and printed out at his local
like a Kinko's on vinyl. Yeah.
And he just tack. I think Silly tacks them up onto the wall behind him, behind each scene. Now, what Jim was talking about, he said flag. It's called on Amazon. It's called a tapestry, and they come in several different sizes. They come in a small, a medium, and a large. Of course, the large is huge. I think I've got a medium. It fits on the trifold display boards that you can get at Walmart to do school projects on and stuff, which I use for backdrops. And I just clip it on with some clothespins onto that backdrop and just set it up behind the castle or whatever.
Yeah.
But those work, and there are several different alien scapes on there that look like a cool Eternia background.
Yeah, and you can use it for a billion other things, but it really does a nice Eternia thing. And with like the Batcave and stuff, I'm realizing between the 1/18 scale 89 Batman stuff that I've been procuring over the last year.
Nice.
Got your little Batman in there, and he's too small for that's okay. This one will fit just fine. I got the Batwing as well from the movie, plus the all black stuff from the Superpowers, plus the existing Batman stuff, plus the Batcave thing that I got from the Batman. I kind of need to have just a Batcave display because there's so many vehicles and there's so many cool ways to like do that. I'll probably do like the Big Penny, and I'll get like a cheapo dinosaur, a cheapo Tyrannosaurus Rex to put in there, like the, Neil Adams.
I will tell you what I use for the dinosaur, for the Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you go to Walmart, you go over to where the kid toys are.
Yeah,
I forget what the name of the brand is, but they have like, it's knockoff Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a green knockoff Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's perfect for putting in a Batcave scene like that. And of course, if you need giant pennies and stuff like that, if you go over to Weird Granddad's Toy Adventures blog on blogspot.com, you know where that's at, Jim, because you've been over there a billion times. I have links to printouts where you can print out the thing and just put it on a piece of cardboard or whatever and glue it on there and make a perfect penny.
I love that idea. However, I was going to just 3D print one.
Well, you could do that too, but the thing about that is the 3D print is fine. It'll look pretty. This one here, it'd be the right size, and it's got the right date on it, too.
Well, I could just go in CAD and modify the penny model and do it right.
Well,
and then use some black wash, get it all up nice. We work in 3 dimensions in 2025, Bill. Working 3 dimensions.
That's fine. You look at the pictures of mine, and you can't tell it's not 3 dimensions.
You're not wrong. Same with the Trouble Alert. I would never dream of 3D printing one of those. I got that. That's great.
The thing about that is, now I'm going to tell you, I worked hard on making that and the design.
Yes,
I designed that myself, which I'm not an engineer like made of cardboard. So it took me a minute to get that work right. There's a guy on Etsy that is 3D printing the things, and it looks just like the one from the thing. And I'm thinking about getting that and painting it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also need to do something to build around that phone booth playset.
Goji, look at what Goji says. Put it up on the screen real quick, Jim.
Says they used to have the knockoff dinosaurs Bill used at the $5 section at Dollar Tree. All right. Well, I got to go to a Dollar Tree later this week anyway. I got some cash that's burning a hole in my pocket. One of the presents we got was some cash from one of our relatives, and we spent a lot of that on things that we could spend cash on while we were there. But now I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with $20? And I was like, ooh, we could go to Dollar Tree. There's one right up the street, so we'll probably do that this week. And I will definitely look for one of those dinosaurs for sure.
And if it's not the right color, you can always paint it.
That's right. Plus, with the announcement that McFarlane's doing a Fortress of Solitude playset, it's like, okay, so I need to figure out a way to build up like a forced perspective or scale Metropolis and have kind of elevated off to the side the Fortress of Solitude. So like, and then augment the Hall of Justice display and really do some nice, because I'm really leaning towards dioramas more than ever. Go ahead.
I've got something that I've been wanting to do, but I just haven't found time to do it. It's an idea that's in my head. So when you have the Hall of Justice on display, you want to see some Metropolis buildings behind it.
Sure, you can do that.
Okay, what I've thought about, and it's one of the ways of reusing some of the cardboard that tends to collect up in a toy collector's collection that you don't really need and you need to throw it away. If you have some boxes that are like tall but thin, and you have several of those, go out, take them outside, flat black, spray paint those things flat black, and then go to the store and get you some yellow construction paper and cut little squares out of it. And just put those on there, and you can make buildings to go in the background that will look perfect. And they're 3D.
And I have a little extra added hack you could do. So what you could do, if you want to just do a 2D flat, you could do that. Or make them 3-dimensional by just wrapping the cardboard around. Seal it all up with the super glue and everything. Leave the bottom hollow. You get yourself one of them tea lights. You turn that on, and now all of a sudden your buildings will glow through.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's something I thought of something similar. I was going to do like a backdrop where it was, transparent from the back. But
let me answer Gojatron here. I already know what's in that set, and there's going to be an exclusive set, and there's going to be a regular set. The regular Fortress of Solitude will just have the Fortress of Solitude. The exclusive Fortress of Solitude is going to come with a Superman robot. What the robot looks like, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's not going to look like Kellex, but I got a feeling that it's going to be a Superman robot, like from the Silver Age, where Superman had all these robots that look like him.
I would lean towards that too. I wonder what his price point's going to be, because when they did the drawing board would be a Kickstarter of those other vehicles, which I've got an update. We're going to get them like probably early February.
That's
very
right.
Stoked on that. Looking at the price points he had there, which were at or just below retail if you bought the whole set, that tells me that they're not trying to milk or bilk the collectors here. So I think that probably be about $100. If it was more than that, I'd be surprised.
you're talking about the drawing board thing. I don't know if you've seen all the chatter about that over the period of time between the time it was announced and now, but it's been kind of blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion on that is that they pretty much wanted to put those out retail like they're going to now, but they wanted a way to go ahead and get the factory started up and tooled up and get the money up front.
Yep.
So pretty much that's why it was done that way. It wasn't done that way so that we could all get exclusive toys that nobody else could get. It was so that they could get those toys in the next wave.
And that doesn't bother me at all. Like, I have no issue and that's part of why, at least probably why they offered it at a lower than retail price if you bought everything, because they stand to make more money that way, and they're passing on something. So they got the factory tooled without having to pretty much the line has already made them money before they even put it out on the shelf. Exactly. And the fact is I get it before anyone else does. I get to say that I helped make it happen, and I don't have any ill will about it. It's like, it's fine. Just like whenever Hasbro gets around to putting out that stripped classified series Hiss, of course I'll buy it. Hasbro's putting out this damn revamped, more cartoon accurate Sentinel, and people are whining and crying. I'm like, it's a lesser toy than the one that you got a couple years back in terms of feature set, but it also has the aesthetic. It's not the same tooling. I think it's a smart thing for them to sell, and I'm looking forward to getting a couple of them. You know, it's something where I see what these companies are doing. Sometimes it's scummy. Sometimes it's like, well, the thing we have to remember, folks, is that the way toys are being produced and distributed has to change, because the old model doesn't work. If you want to see what the old model looks like, go to Walmart. Yeah. And that's why Mattel Creations, I think, was smart in saying, we're going to take the vintage stuff over, because if I was the brand manager for He-Man, and I'm like, I'm dead serious about keeping that promise, the way you can make certain that the people that really want it can get it is to sell direct.
And by doing that, they get their money. They get the line sold up front. It's not like they're losing money on it. You take a big gamble when you tool those factories up. You don't know how much to produce, so you have to thinking. I guess we'll produce this many, and then you get something like what happened with Buzz Off and Sorceress and all that wave that sits on the shelf and collects dust.
However, most of the Mattel Creations vintage Motu stuff that's coming out is already made, and they ship it out the next day. It's a smaller number, but they know they can sell it, so everyone is happy.
And every once in a while, if they do sell out of it, they'll tool it back up again and offer it again like they did $1.
And I think that'll happen with some stuff. I will say, and this is going to be a very unpopular thing to say, and it's going to sound cold, it's going to sound elitist, and it's going to sound dickish, but I don't care. At this point in time, if you want stuff that Mattel Creations sells of Motu, they give you usually 2 to 4 weeks notice when it's going to happen, so you can set aside your $30 for a figure right then and there, because you know how much they cost with shipping and taxes and everything else. And unless you have a really, really unapologetic job that won't let you take an hour off or something, some don't, some do, some don't, and I get it, right? Unless you're in that situation, there's really not an excuse not to get one. Because even for those folks that are in that situation, if they have a friend that doesn't have those restrictions and could get one, that could happen too. So there's no excuse not to be able to get a hold of this stuff at this point.
But even if you do want to have one of those horrible jobs, you can always take a dump on the company dime at the time, and
that's right.
So on that low note, I'm gonna fade off. I'm actually trying not to fall asleep right now. Not the conversation.
You look tired, man. You look tired, and you sound sick, dude. Go take some medicine.
Oh, This is the second flu in a week.
Oh my God.
The nephew's slammed me hard at Christmas. Everyone got the stomach bug early.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, my mom and I got the flu because the kids were just bleh. So, yeah.
Well, then rest and hydrate and get vitamin C and chicken soup in your body.
I've been slamming water and tea all day. I need to go get some right now.
Well, go get some rest, brother. I love you.
Yeah, take care, man, and get well.
Yep. I will see you all. I'll keep watching in the background.
All right, brother.
That's cool, man.
Appreciate you. All right.
Gojatron. Yeah, go ahead.
Gojatron says that there's another Galactus coming in 2025, presumably smaller than the HasLab. I think it's a smart play, and if the price is reasonable, I will get him. I will still display the Toy Biz Galactus that I got from Will as a very generous gift. Here's the thing, and this might be an insight to my philosophy when it comes to what goes in my office versus what goes in the toy room. If I get the larger, nicer Galactus this year, he's going to go with Fantastic Four for scale, but that Toy Biz one is going to be displayed with his box in the office because it's very special. And I'm never parting with it, and I'm always going to... That shelf is for
is that
things that remind me of friends.
Is that the Build-A-Figure Galactus?
Nope.
See, I don't have. My daughter has because she claims it's hers. So when she was growing up, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends were what we had to buy because that's what there were. Yes, that's exactly what Joneser does, and I do, and apparently Carl does that too. We go take a bathroom break for 45 minutes. Anyway, there was a Build-A-Figure in one of the waves. I think it was the wave with the War Machine in it, and I had bought all the figures except for one. And of course, Sarah decided that they were hers because she played with them all the time. And I finally found the War Machine on eBay and got him, and that completed it. And we put the Galactus together. Now he was about yay tall, I guess. So it's not like a huge Galactus, but he works, right?
Yeah.
And of course, I had it displayed for the longest time. And when she came down and got all the box full of Marvel Legends toys, she grabbed the Galactus. She said, "That's mine too, Daddy." And so she did that with the Star Wars stuff too. So I bought the Star Wars stuff because when the new movies came out that George Lucas made for Episode 1 and all that, the Power of the Force was the big thing. And it was like they were. I was reliving my childhood by buying these Power of the Force figures of Han and Luke and Leia in their classic outfits, even though they looked like they were on steroids. But yeah, that was fun. And of course, Sarah decided that all those were hers too, and so I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it tends to go, I suppose.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to but that shelf is for not just the nicer stuff, but all of that stuff was either inspired by, started by, or directly given by friends. So that's going to be
I see what you're doing there. What you're doing there is you're putting back there not only high-end stuff, but you're also putting down stuff that has a sentimental value to you as well.
Highfalutin stuff. Yeah. Where it's going to inspire me, So both of my Mezco Spideys are going in there. Because I got the first one from Jim Largo, and then the second one I got for myself because it's the deluxe.
I got a question when you said Spider-Man. I know that Gojatron was after these Mego figures that were Disney exclusive figures with the Marvel figures.
Yeah.
Did you go after those, Jim?
No.
I didn't either. It
was bad timing.
That and the money. I thought it was a little expensive, and I just wasn't going to do that.
Comparative to what I see Migos go for at retail stores these days, to have that set with those specific characters, it's worth it for the Green Goblin almost.
Lizard was in there too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yup. And I kind of felt like had that come out a month prior or a month after, I would have snagged it. But I'd already bought all the gifts I was willing to buy. Most of this stuff that I say are Christmas gifts were things that were sitting in the pile of loot. And I know that Lauren was stressing the visit and everything else, and she was falling behind. I said, "Look, I'm going to get my presents this year. Trust me. Don't worry about it." And I got a lot of stuff.
That's the same thing I told Paula. I mean, you saw that style guide I said was my Christmas present this year. It was.
Yeah.
And I said it was from Paula, but I actually procured that and pre-ordered it way back at the beginning of the year when they pre-ordered those. So
Well, she poo-pooed the idea, but I said and I gave her a wish list, and she did say that there was something she was going to get, and I don't know if it hasn't shipped yet or what. But ultimately, I said, "Look, trust me. When you see the look on my face when I open this stuff, you'll know." And when she saw me open that Voltron, she was like, "Okay, yeah, that was good."
Well, see, what you need to do is you need to get her in touch with some of the other collector wives that already know. You're not going to get him anything. You're not going to get him anything that he wants.
That's not true. I don't think that's necessarily true.
You're going to either get him something he already has, or you're going to get him something that he doesn't collect because you don't know any better. The best thing to do is just let him get what he wants and say it's from you. And then I do the same thing to her. That's why she got a miniature sewing machine music box.
Right. Well, I pride myself on knowing my wife better than she knows herself. So,
all right. Well,
now, granted, it's gonna get to a point though.
You keep on believing that, but they're mysterious things, my friend.
Oh,
the more you think you know about them, the more you don't know about them.
Look, man, I've done it twice before. I know the pitfalls. But as long as I can maintain that illusion, I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, all right. Whatever works for you. Disney Store had a 25% discount on that Spider-Man Mego set. So
yeah, I'm going to come back to that in a second here. Mr. Bork is out of the room. Hey, Happy New Year to you as well, my brother. I love you very much. Get a hold of me soon, okay? I got news to share with you. World Meta Cardboard in the house. John, nice to see you. Love you very much. Always good to see you. We need to get together soon. And then, like you said, Gojatron says, ironically, the Disney Store had a 25% off discount on that Spider-Man Mego set, so it was a good deal before they started canceling orders. And that's the problem. It just kind of was this whole thing. Now, I have a feeling that after the first of the year, that set might go back up for sale. And if it does, yoink, I'm grabbing it. Now, here's the fun part about that for me. The Megos I'm going to display in the office were all gifts. All of them. I have the Spider-Man and the Captain America that were childhood ones from Mr. Salzberg and his brother, who's dearly departed. The Toxic Avenger Mego was a gift from Bjorn. And the custom Dr. Fate that I got. I think that was a gift from Gojatron, I think. So all of those are going to go up there. Plus there's going to be a Mego scaled Captain Picard from Playmates that'll go up there. And I'll probably augment that with a Kirk and a Spock, because you can't not at that point, But then if I get this set from Disney, well, that's going to go down in the toy room, because that's just, that's cool. But the idea is to remind of these things. Roman Carver says, my youngest daughter has been hitting home runs with buying me gifts for Christmas. Yeah, I think that when a family member finds like that lane for them to stay in that they're good at. So, for example, if Lauren ends up hitting up all my buddies over the next year for Christmas next year, the thing that they should suggest are like all the crap I'm not going to bother getting. Things like diorama pieces, accessories, toys that like they would be perfect to have, but I can't justify buying it, kind of a thing. That kind of stuff. Like the stuff I'm going to drag my feet on because I'm stubborn. Jim, you have too much space behind you. You need more toys. You're right. You're right. And since you just joined, I'm just going to show this again because I'm super excited about it. We are going to be moving into this space, and I cannot wait to outfit this damn garage. I really can't wait. This is going to be my new toy room in 8 months or so. And I'm really happy. It's going to be so cool. It's a great, big fuck-off room. I can't wait. The only thing that gives me pause is that there's a sprinkler system right here. So I got to be really careful about fire. And this right here, I can't see it that well. Whoop. I think it's a vent. No, that's not a vent. No, that's just a what? It's just a board. Damn. I was really hoping.
You were hoping. You had already said that earlier that you were hoping that was a return up there.
Yeah. And there still might be one down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be. Considering it's directly above the rest of the system, it cannot be that crazy to put a duct down there. It can't. It's just a question of.
I'm sure for the right amount of money, and hopefully it's the affordable amount of money, you could probably get something put in there.
Yeah, because where we are, we're in the middle of a block of condo townhouses. Mm-hmm. There's no way to put a mini split in that garage. There's no way to do it because there's no exterior wall except for the front, and that's the HOA's probably not going to be happy about that.
A piece of wood. Apparently.
A piece of wood? What? Well, what I like about that is that if it's what I think it is, which is an extension of the studs or a beam, I can hang stuff from it, and I have some ideas for that.
Oh, I already kind of have little thoughts running through my mind because he's gonna trick that room out. It's not gonna look like a garage when he gets done. He's gonna have the walls looking nice and put some carpet down on the floor.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'll bring it back up just to show people. My plan is to take all this flooring and epoxy it, okay? And then get like that rubberized kick plate material that you see, get that all the way around, and then right here as well, because I think doing epoxy up there would be just too costly. Unless they tell me doing epoxy all the way around all these exposed edges is cost effective. If I could do that, even better. And that's going to be like a gray base with black, white, and blue flakes in it. So it'll kind of look like the old JCPenney logo, if you think about it. And that's by design. Because I want it to still look garagey, but I also want it to be fun. The walls will probably just be painted white. All the way around because the shelves are going to be up against it, so you want the light to reflect as much as humanly possible. But every space I can possibly do is going to have something cool there. And the thing that I'm struggling with now, and again, you can't see it because it's the other end, but from the garage door, I'm not yet certain how I want to handle that. I will probably build a false wall with a room divider of some kind. And then maybe put the box wall across that, but it has to be something that I can get around, But the trick is through this here is the actual doorway on the other side of the garage, so I can get into the garage from the outside and inside out pretty easily. So I don't have to worry about opening the door all that often. And I will have to insulate that door, DIY, or I will have to get a pre-insulated door. I will definitely do the former for budget reasons, but it's going to be a fun thing. It's going to be really. I can't wait to do it. And even more so, just the fact that once we get the estimates and just get things going, it'll be done before we get there, and we can just walk right in and have it be this beautiful place with a bunch of these blue shelves floating around. Oh. Can't wait, because all the pressure of not knowing which area to move to, but then also saying here's my destination, unless our realtor finds some insanely good deal on a house we just cannot afford to pass up, we're going to be there. We're going to be there for at least 6 months, because I'm not going to bother trying to buy a house during the winter. That's just stupid. And yeah, the room's going to look great once it's all sorted out. I mean, this room, piece by piece, if you remember from the beginning, it's getting better and better every time you see me. 20 foot wide by how long? I don't know. That's why I called my realtor today, knowing she wouldn't answer her phone, and that's for a message. I'm going to get the exact measurements, but it's a 2-car garage deep. So that's probably...
So 2 cars like this, board-mounted cardboard, not like this, but like this, car end to end.
Right, so it's probably 35 or 40.
You know,
Like
it's a pretty deep garage because you got to have a little room between the two cars if you're going to park them in there.
Right. And because there's going to be no cars there, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with. But the idea with finishing it in this way is that not only is it making it a toy room that's viable, but you're making it a extremely flexible space for the next owner or for the next tenant. Because if we keep it as an investment property, I can jack up the rent a little bit because, like, hey, you got this whole bonus room down here, or a garage, or a workshop, whatever the hell you want, and it's already air conditioned. Pay me, kind of thing.
I don't know what Chad did with his garage door, but apparently I don't think you ever see it because that's where the hard camera sits.
Right. A lot of people that convert their garages for various things, and there's a billion videos on how to do this on YouTube. You cut a certain type and weight of insulation that has the mirror edge on it. You put the mirror facing out to the door, and you can paint the inside if you want. You don't have to, but you just cut it exact to spec, and they just slot right into each of these sections on the door. 1 or 2 twists of the old spring to tighten it. Get a professional to do it if you're not used to it, because it might hit you and ruin your day. But then your garage is insulated to a ridiculously high degree at that point. Plus, because we're in the middle of a 5 or 6 unit thing, I got no worries insulation on the sides or really the front, because it doesn't go all the way to the front of the property. It's short by just a little bit. So that means you insulate the door, run a vent down there, and it's not going to have a gigantic impact on the utility bills once it's cooled that first time. And if I really needed to, if it really came down to it, and doing the venting would be cost prohibitive, just get a portable air conditioning unit and put it in the front. That's it. They're not that bad. And I could even use the bottom of the garage door as the vent and just build a custom piece and chain the door to it so it doesn't. There's a bunch of ways to do this.
There's a lot of ways to do it. I mean, you could even put a space heater in there if you wanted to. Just make sure it's not too close to the toys. Be safe.
And I don't. The thing is, if I'm going to buy a portable unit to do that with, it'll be a combination AC heat pump. So if you know how much those cost, that tells you how much I'm willing to pay to have the vent put in.
I got you.
Yeah, because I'd be willing to put $6-7 grand into it if I had to, because that really ups the property value by a lot.
Right.
To have that extra space and be able to say, I can still use the garage, I can do this, can do that. And I've seen what it does for property value, and I'll do anything to up my property value, bruh. But I'm excited about it, and I think rightfully so, because finally I can take all this nervous energy about what are we going to do next. Like, well, now we know what we're going to do. Now I can just plan for it and be strategic and tactical, and I have all this time. I know exactly what's going to happen. Like, variables are just falling off the old plan, So I'm stoked, to say the least. Where's my damn... Here it is. Like I said, that's going to be on my tombstone or my urn. Where's my damn... Oh, there it is. Every time. I immediately find it. But, so, 2024 has been a good year in hindsight, because it's given me the opportunity to reevaluate how I process every possible thing in my life. My marriage is stronger, which I did not think that was possible, but it is. I have more focus on where my future is going to be and what I want it to be. I appreciate my situation more than I hate it, because it's like, you know what? I've got what I've got, and I'm really damn lucky that I have that. And while I have it, I'm not going to let it fuck me up, frankly. And going into 2025, I feel more comfortable. I feel that I have more lateral movement in my brain to focus on things like health and stuff like that. I needed this year to kind of shake some shit loose and kind of really understand that the moment Lauren came into my life, that life was completely different. And I finally accepted that and realized just how good I fucking have it. So I'm not mad about 2024 at all.
Well, and I'll just reiterate what he said with this. It's a lot easier to focus on the shit that's bad going on in your life. It's
Right.
real easy to do that because you see that all the time. But what you need to do is take a step back and look at all the good things that you have and count your blessings.
Right.
Because you could not have those, and then it would be all the crap plus none of that good stuff, and that would be bad, really bad.
Yeah. And
thank God for Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. I think that without you, I think Jim would not be in a good place right now, and I'm glad that you were there for him.
no, without her, I'd probably be in the same apartment, or I would have in the past been in this apartment and not know where I'm at, and all my shit would be in storage right now. I'd be back in a hotel probably if I was lucky.
You would be in a bad place right now if it wasn't for her. Yes.
Yeah, to say the least, because I wouldn't have the support. I wouldn't have, frankly, the resources. You know, I would be in a bad place. But I'm in a good place. So that's not the case.
You thank whatever being that you worship. I thank God. Thank you, God, for having Lauren there for Jim.
Godzilla be praised.
There you go.
Godzilla be praised.
Look, I got to run, Jim. It's been fun being on here with you, but I'm going to take off for now.
I'm going to wrap up myself, so that's good. So,
all right, take care.
I love you, brother. Happy New Year.
You too.
All right, folks. Everyone, thank Bill for being here, being the awesome guy that he is. We love him very much. Thank you also to Badger for being here, and everyone's been watching for this almost 3 hours. I know that this stream, there was a lot of stuff like I haven't streamed that much this year. Next year I'm going to be doing more of it. I'm still trying to figure out what's next with it, but for me the first step is to get this room where it needs to be, and we're so close with that, having the plexiglass and the magnets to protect from Jasper. So then we get all the Marvel Legends up, and then we clear out the space, and then we can start piece by piece bringing out tub after tub and augmenting and making more verticality in the displays and getting as much out here as we can, and then making hard decisions about what stays and what doesn't. Example, because we have this impending move, my Action Force collection is probably going to go into the bin to make way for other stuff that's already loose on the shelf. I don't know what's going to end up there, but I think that makes the most sense. They're all boxed up. I haven't taken any of them out except for a couple of the Steel Brigades, and it's not going to be that difficult to put them back in a damn container. So those will find their place onto a display in the shelf when we get to Portland and get into that garage. So you'll see this take place, with all hope, pretty fucking quick. And when this room is where it needs to be for now, content comes. More streams come, more regularity comes, and hopefully we'll be coasting through 2025, just having fun, just doing what we started doing when we started doing toy content on this channel, and just having a wide variety of videos and conversations moving forward. Because every time I see these toys behind me, whether it's in this configuration or the configuration of all loose on the shelf, makes me smile, man. I'm smiling more than I have in a long time. So I'm going to check in with you guys one last time before I sign off for the last time in 2024. Warman Cardboard says, before I get to that, he says, before that, I haven't finished the painting of my kitchen remodel. I can't imagine redoing a whole garage to a new room. That's why we're paying someone. It's just adding an epoxy floor and some paint. That's really all it is. It's not a crazy amount of work to be done, but having it done right is really important, especially with it being not an outside thing. So, but I get it. Trust me. We have paint we need to get done in our kitchen, and then down there. So we have the one group of folks come in to paint all that stuff, and then the epoxy will come after. So it'll be fun. Big thing for Morbid Cardboard says, my first concussion, hopefully last. Yes. No more of that, please. No more of that, please. Some well-wishing for Bill. Mr. Jason Garcia, my buddy, says thanks and Happy New Year to us and everyone else. I really appreciate that. And right back to you and your wife, man. It's awesome. Travels more than says, see you later. And then World Medic Cardboard says, Jasper's attacking your toys? He treats it like it's a bowling alley. He'll dart his way into here sometimes and just knock shit over. And then today he came in right before the show and was like, what the hell's going on in here? And then Lauren lured him out with some treats and everything's fine. So that's a wrap on 2024 for your old grindhead here. In a few hours here, we're going to be celebrating 2025, and you'll be seeing posts on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere else that there's a grindhead, and them pretty much everywhere. We're going to have a good time. I want you all to have a good time. Have a safe time. Do not drink and drive. There's a lot of resources out there for you if you need a ride tonight. And if you can't think of one, call someone close to you. And I guarantee you, we'd rather lend you $20 to get an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi than for you to get hurt or worse. So stay safe. Put the guns away. Put the fireworks away. Put the keys away. Enjoy yourself responsibly. We'll see you in the coming year. Big things for us in the coming months and year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys. But until then, may all your card backs be straight. May all your grinds be merry. And may you be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. Especially if it's happiness. Cheers, guys. I love you very much. We'll see you in 2025. Bye for now.